Alright, this should be it. This should be the final stream of the original Ace Attorney trilogy. So here's hoping that we can get through this. If I remember correctly, this Turnabout Beginnings is just the trial, and then we have an actual full-fledged case on the next episode. So hopefully this won't take too long, but final Ace Attorney cases are notoriously long, so let's just get started because we're gonna be here a while. The girl, let her go. Shut up! Come closer and I kill her. Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. I'm reading through the file of an old court case. It's the first case of my longtime mentor, Mia Fey. Falls met with and then murdered Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, recaptured on Eagle Mountain about 8 hours after his escape. Her very first client was a death row inmate who had recently broken out of prison. That was a whole year before Mia and I ever met. I'm so nervous. I feel like I'm gonna die. I never should have accepted this case. Good morning. Don't be so jumpy, Mia. I didn't do nothing. I swear I didn't kill nobody. Terry Falls, my first client, sentenced to death 5 years ago and now a prison escapee. Just relax, Mia. Make small talk and try to relax him. So why did you escape anyway? Sorry. I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. I didn't escape from nowhere. But Mr. Falls, the police just recaptured you 2 days ago. Sorry. I told a little lie. Oh boy. Anyway, I didn't do it. I never killed nobody. I'm sorry for asking, but you're on death row, right? I'm really sorry. They sentenced me to die 5 years ago, but I was tricked, I tell you. That woman, she lied in her testimony. That's why I got the death penalty. I swear it, I didn't kill her. I could never do that. 2 days ago, he escaped from the prison wagon when it crashed. And about 8 hours later, a policewoman was murdered before the police could recapture him. The police believe that Terry Falls did it. After you escaped, did you meet a policewoman? Yeah, I did. She's the reason I escaped. So that much is true. He did meet with the victim. But I didn't kill her. She was alive when I left. She was alive, it's true. I can trust him, right? I mean, I should. You're not going to figure out the truth by just staring at the guy. Why are you here? Came to see how our little kitten was doing all alone in the big scary lion's den. Well, maybe you'd like someone to play with. Where's Mr. Grossberg? That old man is probably still in bed. Bet he's clutching an empty bottle and mumbling in his sleep. Aren't I good enough? After all, it's me, Diego Armando. I didn't say... So, Diego Armando, the finest attorney at Grossberg Law Offices, is here for me? No, no, no. You've got it all wrong. Today, you're the finest. After all, it took an amazing amount of guts to take this case. Imagine, an escaped death row convict for a first client. Yeah, thanks. I sure wish I could get out of it, though. Relax. Just heard some good news. The prosecutor for today is fresh out of his diapers as well. Really? However, unlike a certain somebody who I won't mention, he's earned the reputation as a genius since beginning his law career. Genius? Well, it's about time I head in, kitten. Sharpen those claws of yours, it's go time. Solitary confinement cell for the condemned must be the world's loneliest place. And that's what my client ran away from. Every other lawyer gave up on him, but not me. When I saw those overflowing eyes and heard that simple childlike voice, I just had the feeling that he was telling the truth. Court is now in session for the trial of Terry Falls. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for quite a while, Your Honor. I understand the lawyers for both sides are newcomers? Yes, Your Honor. I'm Mia Fey. Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor. So you're the new prosecutor everyone's talking about, eh? They say you joined the prosecutor's office at quite an early age. At 20, Your Honor. Guess our little kitten hasn't earned herself much of a reputation yet, huh? Come on, Mia, you can't lose, not to someone younger than you. Young people running a trial, I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Now then, the defendant in this case is currently a felon on death row. 2 days ago, he escaped from a police wagon, is that correct? Precisely. But the defendant is not on trial for escaping prison. On the day that the defendant escaped, a policewoman was murdered. So we're here to determine if Mr. Falls was responsible for her death. You got it, kitten. Well then, Mr. Edgeworth, let's hear your opening statement. Yes, Your Honor, it was 5 years ago. The defendant, Terry Falls, was sentenced to death in this very court. His crimes were kidnapping, extortion, and murder. The girl he threw off the bridge was only 14 years old. A truly horrible crime. I remember it well. There was no decisive evidence, so the trial was long and protracted. Correct, but in the end, what finally decided the case was a certain witness's testimony. A witness's testimony? The testimony of Detective Valerie Hawthorne, the person who confronted this criminal. She arrested Mr. Falls at the scene and later testified against him. She said she witnessed Mr. Falls throw his young victim into the river. For those who are not aware, Eco River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall are never recovered. So Mrs. Hawthorne's testimony was the one that put him away. That policewoman you just mentioned, that wouldn't be exactly the victim, the same woman that was killed 2 days ago. Police Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne. Aha, I see. The man who was sentenced to death based on her testimony escaped 2 days ago with only one thing on his mind: to take revenge against the woman who convicted him. The truth is becoming clear to me now. Huh? Yes. It's quite obvious the defendant is guilty. Wait a minute, that's not right. At least hear the case before you decide on the outcome, Your Honor. Watch yourself, Miss Fey. I'm not sure I care for your word choice or your tone of voice. Young people these days simply don't know how to respect their elders. What? You're even younger than me, you hypocrite. Now that, Mr. Edgeworth, please call your first witness. I call the detective who was in charge of the initial investigation of this case. Witness, state your name and occupation. Gumshoe, Dick Gumshoe. I'm the homicide detective in charge of this case, sir. Finally got promoted to the detective division half a year ago. I don't believe anyone asked you about that. Hey, ma'am, you got any idea how much work it takes? What is it? You? You're really gorgeous. Excuse me? No, seriously, my heart is aching for you. Detective, pull yourself together and try to be professional. Otherwise, I'll write you up on contempt so quick that something other than your heart will ache. Okay, I got it. Now, Detective, tell us about the incident. Yes, sir, right away. The victim was Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, veteran on the police force. She was stabbed in the back with a knife and died from excessive blood loss. That much is already stated in the autopsy report. Court would like to hear more the details about the incident itself. Yes, sir, I gotcha. Okay, let's take a look at the aerial map of the area here. This is a sketch of Dusky Bridge and Old Suspension Bridge. And the river that runs under there is Eagle River. The victim and the defendant met there on top of the bridge. After stabbing her in the back, the killer carried the victims back to his car. He was recaptured at the police checkpoint as he was trying to make his getaway, sir. I see. Was the victim's blood found on the bridge? The victim, Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, was wearing a thick coat, sir. Unfortunately, no traces of blood were found on the bridge. Mr. Edgeworth, I warn you that I absolutely despise conjecture. If there was no blood on the bridge, then you have no proof that they even met there. Your Honor. If you would listen to the testimony I have prepared, I'm sure you'll be convinced. The two of them most certainly did meet on the bridge that day. Why, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm not sure I like your wagging your finger at me as though I was some sort of hoser. Detective, proceed with your testimony. Yes, sir. Here we go, Mia. Hang on. Okay, now listen carefully, kitten. One little mistake and this guy will drink you for morning tea. Trust me and get ready. On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Falls. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. The criminal stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Mr. Falls was arrested at the police checkpoint and we set up at the base of the mountain. Well, you certainly have established the importance of the bridge. Naturally. Well, would the defense please hurry up and proceed with the cross-examination? Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination coming right up. Hey, settle down there, kitten. If you keep trembling like that, you're gonna make me spill my coffee. I'm not trembling, it's just cold in here. Courtroom can be a cold battlefield, alright, especially for a beginner. I don't need you to worry about me. I mean the defendant, the witness, everyone's a beginner in here. You got me there. Maybe you should keep your claws out and show them what you got. Okay, Mia, stay calm. Just remember those court procedure videos you stayed up all night watching. This unknown person, you have no idea who it might be, right? Sorry, but I'm afraid I do. What? The one who called Sergeant Hawthorne was the defendant, Terry Falls. What? The defendant? The defendant called her? Sergeant Hawthorne was a very thorough person, sir. She left a note about her phone call with Mr. Falls. A note? Yeah, a top-secret memo that she left on her desk. For some reason, Gumshoe's voice that I gave him throughout the entire series is just not coming to me right now, and I can't get it to come out of my throat, and I don't know why. According to this note, it seems the one who called her to the bridge was indeed the defendant, Terry Falls. Which bright idea was it to keep that note from me? Looks like the judge is even more sure of his verdict now. Listen up, never ask a question if you don't already know the answer. It's that detective's fault. He's the one that said unknown person. Hey now, don't make that face at me. Just said that because the prosecutor told me to. Is that a trap? That cute face, I didn't expect him to be so sneaky. Mr. Falls had a car then. Well, nope, that's not it either. That bridge is way up the mountains, ma'am. The defendant and the victim both went up there by car. I mean, how else, right? What, you mean the defendant drove his own car? No, of course not. It was stolen. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light. Car thieves. I'm not sure how I feel about car thieves. Is this guy sure about how he feels about anything? This is the photo of the stolen car's trunk. Naturally, that's the body of Valerie Hawthorne in there. Oh, that doesn't look too comfortable. The victim, she was stabbed in the back, correct? For some reason, men always seem to get stabbed in the back. Talking about a woman here. Can't tell from this photo, but the knife was stuck in her back nice and firm. The condition of the body when it was discovered is very important information. Detective, was there anything strange or noteworthy in the trunk of the car? Witness. What is it? Do you have something to say, Miss Faye? I'm sorry, I totally forgot what I was going to say. This is the first time I've ever actually had to address someone like that. You should have practiced before coming to court. Honestly, Miss Faye, I'm not sure I like this. Say there, little kitten, want a piece of my coffee candy? Candy? Well, you're still too young to be drinking real coffee. Detective! Yes, ma'am. This photo, you said that there was nothing peculiar about it, correct? Yes, that's what I said. Well, then I suggest you take another look at the note written by the victim. No. It very clearly says, wear a white scarf for identification. The caller must have forgotten what the victim looked like, thus this special request. I have one very simple question for you, Detective. Where is the white scarf? Can't seem to find it in this photo. Well, to be honest, we didn't find it in the trunk, man. And you stopped there? You should have looked for it. Caller told her to wear it to identify herself, so I'd expect she did just that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this? I see the defense is a little lacking. The scarf you are searching so desperately for, is it this one, perchance? Where did you find that, sir? On Dusky Bridge. I was there first and decided to conduct my own investigation. Why didn't you tell me? I made a decision to keep all pieces of evidence in my personal satchel. It's the safest place, I know. That hotshot sure has flair for the dramatic. It's not exactly white as the caller requested, but as you can see, it's close enough for what it was intended for. It looks like I'd spent some time in the mud. Not surprising, it was drizzling on the mountain that day. Prosecutor Edgeworth, he was intentionally hiding that scarf the whole time? Court will accept the scarf and evidence. Now, if the attorney for the defense is finished embarrassing herself, I'd like to move on with the testimony. That is all right with you, isn't it, Miss Faye? Boy, would I like to wrap this scarf around his smarmy little neck. Very good. Now, if we're done with this mud-covered scarf business, prosecution moves to establish conclusively and with hard evidence that Miss Hawthorne and Mr. Falls did indeed meet on the bridge that day. Further, we will show exactly what occurred there. Sounds quite promising. I can't wait to hear all about it. Everything's moving at his whim. Don't forget, kitten, there's a reason why everyone considers this kid a genius. Genius, huh? Actually, there's an eyewitness who... No, I can't get the fucking voice out. Jesus Christ. Fuck it, we're not doing the voice then. Actually, there's an eyewitness who was there when the incident took place. This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. It shows the Vic wearing the scarf, sir. It was drizzling that day, unfortunately, so it's a little hard to see what's going on. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. It must have been when the scarf fell off. looking at this photo, you really get the sense that that bridge is very high up. It's about a 40-foot drop from the bridge to the Eagle River down below. Mr. Edgeworth, who took this photo anyway? Let's just say that it was a well-intentioned third party. Ah, potential witness, so why isn't this person in the courtroom? Well, they said they absolutely did not want to testify. The person in question is very delicate, Your Honor. Besides, as long as we have this photo, we see no reason to compel them to testify. I'm not sure how I feel about that. So, as you can see, Terry Falls had both the motive and the opportunity. I think it's quite clear at this point what happened on that bridge. Truth is becoming clear to me now. Yes, it's quite clear. Obviously guilty. Not again, that's not fair. I haven't even done my cross-examination yet. What do you mean, Is that part of the witness's testimony as well? Of course it is. He pushed the Vic hard in the back and she fell down right on her stomach. I remember that happening once myself. It was really brutal. Are you talking about seeing someone get pushed, or were you the one getting pushed? Or does it mean that you pushed someone down like that once? His mind-boggling tales and the way he said brutal, I wonder if he's Canadian. Save your nasty look for the right person. Take a look. Poor baby. The court record seems to have wet itself. Hey, watch where you spill your coffee. So at the time of the crime, there was a light drizzle coming down, correct? Yeah, and fog too. Just a generally soggy atmosphere. Well, I have evidence that doesn't go with the soggy atmosphere. But this is a photo of the victim's body that was found in the car trunk. Considering the conditions of the scene of the crime, something isn't right. Well, by all means, please enlighten us as to what isn't right. What is it about this photo of the trunk that doesn't fit with the conditions that day? Naturally, the answer is right here. The victim's coat? As far as I can see, there's nothing strange about it. It's exactly what's strange. Recall the testimony. What were the conditions on the bridge that day? It was drizzling and foggy. Dusky Bridge was all wet. If the victim really had fallen down on her stomach on top of that bridge, then the front of her coat should have been covered in mud. That's exactly right. The other day I fell on a muddy street and my gorgeous playoff beard was befouled. I do admit that the crime scene was quite wet that day. However, that doesn't mean that the top of the bridge itself was muddy. If your Honor had fallen in the shower instead of on a muddy street, your glorious hockey beard, pride of the legal league, wouldn't be wet but not muddy. Fortunately, I have yet to test that. Still, your point is well taken. Can you prove that the surface of the bridge was muddy that day? Surface of the bridge, huh? A grown man wouldn't stand for a taunt like this. Neither would a real woman. Of course I can. Here's the evidence that proves the surface of the bridge was muddy. The evidence is the scarf. It should be obvious. If the scarf fell onto the bridge and got this muddy, that means the bridge was obviously covered in mud. No, I can't be outwitted by this novice bimbo. Hey, same to you, buddy. Miss Faye's assertion makes perfect sense to me. I do admit that there appears to be a contradiction between the condition of the victim's coat and her scarf. However, the real question is, why is there a contradiction? For every contradiction, there exists an explanation. Let's look at what the explanation in this case may be, shall we? Alright, it's not like he's giving you a choice here. You're doing pretty well for a little kitten. Mr. Armando. No matter what he says, a contradiction always comes down to a lie. It's either the victim discovered in the trunk, the witness's photo showing the defendant and the victim, or the witness's testimony that stated she saw the moment of the murder. Just relax and think it over. It's pretty simple, isn't it? The false evidence? It's one of those three. What you said just now, I'm not sure I like that. It wasn't me, Your Honor. That was the coffee aficionado over here that said it. This court is not in the habit of accepting false evidence, you know. Blame it on him, Your Honor. He's the one trying to slip false evidence into court. But we won't let him. We'll expose his evidence as the flimsy scam it really is. Yes, the false evidence in this case is the witness's testimony. It's a no-brainer. Obviously, it's the witness that's suspicious. During his earlier testimony, the detective pointed out a crucial fact. The criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Now, was that testimony exactly what the witness claims to have seen? Yeah, that's what the witness told us. That testimony is filled with holes. After all, the victim's coat isn't dirty at all. That's true. It's not just true, it's the truth. There's truly decisive witness in this case. I'm certain that boy Wonder over there would have called them in the first place. Your Honor, the defense requests that cross-examine the eyewitness. The testimony presented so far is not only vague, but contradictory as well. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, it appears that we'll need to hear from your mystery witness after all. You should brace yourself for the brutal truth. Your Honor, the prosecution has no intention of hiding the witness from the court. We are prepared to present our witness at any time. Very well, please bring forth your witness at this time. What Mr. Edgeworth said kind of worries me. What does he mean by the brutal truth? Now, let's proceed with the testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, please go right ahead. Thank you, Your Honor. The prosecution summons the woman who saw the events that day with her very own eyes. Zip Mia, the battle begins here. Witness, what is your name and occupation? When you're so silent, I can hear their hearts going pitter-patter. When I look at you, how can I put it? You look as scrumptious as a double-double and a dozen donut holes. I feel like I want to hurry up and hand down a verdict just to have a bite. Hey, not so fast. As I said before, this witness is sensitive and delicate. I would ask the court to please exercise care when addressing her. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. You are a true gentleman. Miss Fay, you can learn a lot from this man. He's such a gentleman. He sure doesn't act like one to me. Sir? Yes, my dear. This is my first time, so I'm sure I'll make a lot of mistakes. Anyway, just wanted to say I'm sorry for all the trouble I might cause. Not at all. That's no trouble at all. Now then, may we please have your name and occupation? My name is Melissa Foster. I'm a college student, a freshman in the literature department. You were on the scene when the unfortunate event occurred, correct? And you were the one who took this photo? Is that accurate? How can you be so mean? See her, what are you doing shoving that in her face like that? But it's just the photograph. It's not like it's something dangerous. Next time I'll be forced to penalize you. I don't like the turn this is taken. Is she staring at me? And you would be... I'm the defense attorney. My name is Mia Fay. I see, so you are... Now then, young lady, could you please give us your testimony? Yes, Your Honor, I'll do my best. I was using my camera to take some pictures of some wild flowers. Then I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Suddenly, they just started fighting. That's when I hurried and took the photo that shows a crucial moment, and right after that I called the police. By the way, where were you standing when the incident occurred? I believe the map would be of help here. I was standing right over here. I was standing in a beautiful field surrounded by tall cliffs. So you took the photo from that location. I brought the camera I was using at the time, just like Mr. Edgeworth asked me to. Oh, what a cute camera, just like its owner. Alright then, Miss Faye, time for your cross-examination, but I warn you, make the witness cry again and you'll feel the wrath of my gavel. Witness, when you said you took a photo of the crucial moment, is this what you mean? All I can see in this photo are two people facing each other. You testified that you saw the two of them starting to fight. Normally, that's the kind of thing we would refer to as a crucial moment. Why haven't you presented a photo like that? Well, you see, the photo we presented was the only one there was. But if you really wanted to capture the crucial moment, then what happened next? You must have taken a photo of it. Apologies, young lady, but Miss Faye's assertion is not without a certain amount of merit. You certainly downplay a situation, can't he? I'm sorry, I'm a very bad girl. I used it all up, the film, I mean. You ran out of film? This photo was the last one. What? Unfortunately, that's the truth. I personally examined all of the photographs she took that day. All the other photos are of the witness herself playing among the wildflowers. The witness herself? Then who took the photos? Well, you see that my camera has a timer feature built into it. So you took photos of yourself? I remember taking some photos of myself once too. Please, no details. Seems that Miss Faye's assertion was not so decisive after all. Wait, just a minute. Well, if she had no film left, she couldn't very well take more pictures. Miss Foster, perhaps then you could tell us about a different sort of photo. Photos of the incident you took with your very own eyes. Mr. Edgeworth, you're quite the poet. Very well then, let's get back to the cross-examination. Let's hear your thoughts on the fight that you witnessed. Yes, Mr. Judge. Boy, this guy is really a sucker for sweet talk. It looks like the other kitten in the room is the one getting all the attention. Yeah, it's sickening. I was using my camera to take some pictures of wild flowers, then I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Suddenly they started fighting. The victim turned around and tried to run away, but... Witness, your testimony is a joke. Huh? What? But I just... Miss Faye, I thought I warned you not to make the witness cry. One short testimony and two bad contradictions. There's no possible excuse. Did you say there were two contradictions? It's simple. Just take a look at the diagram of the area. According to her testimony, the two of them were in the middle of the bridge. But if they were, and the victim had turned around and tried to run, well, then she would have hit a dead end. You said 10 yards, but she couldn't have even ran 5, because Dusky Bridge has collapsed on that side. What does all this mean? It's very simple, Your Honor. This charming little witness told a charming little lie. That's all there is to it. This beautiful young lady has been lying to the court? Just a moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth? Your Honor, allow me to personally apologize for the confusion. What do you mean? There's one major mistake in this diagram. What did you say? What are you referring to? It's all because this diagram was made after the incident occurred. It's a very old bridge, we couldn't find any official blueprints of it. So you're saying, I'm saying that even though this bridge is currently in disrepair, there's no evidence that can prove that the bridge was broken during the incident. That's ridiculous! You can't actually tell the condition of the bridge from this photo. Apologies to the court for not being more clear when I presented the evidence. looks good. What do you mean? He planned it from the beginning. He's a genius, alright. That diagram of the bridge was his insurance policy. What? That coward. Well, Miss Fey, it seems you've once again made a reckless accusation. I'm sorry, I should have been more careful myself. No, it wasn't your fault at all. Now then, shall we get on with the trial? I'd like to establish once and for all what it was that the witness actually saw. Indeed. Alright, young lady. I ask you to please proceed with your testimony. But it's so hard to go on. We're all on your side, Miss Foster. There's no need to worry. Just tell us what you saw. Yes, sir. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms, and he carried her over to the car. I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw. Witnessing such violence must have been difficult. Yes, sir, I'm still shaken up. If he accepts this testimony as it is, we're finished. Don't say that. Oh well. Maybe I'll stop off my favorite cafe on the way home and make a really great mocha latte. This trial isn't over yet. That's what I like to hear. Alright, Miss Fey, your cross-examination, if you please. Contradictions is starting to go staring you right in the face, Mia. This one's easy. A killer not wanting his victim to be found, I can understand that. However, the idea of moving the body for that purpose is clearly odd. There was a much easier way to make sure the body wasn't found. Well, what is it? Take another look at the map of the area and you'll see how. There's a river right below the bridge. Earlier, Mr. Edgeworth pointed out something interesting about the river. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall are never recovered. In the kidnapping case 5 years ago, the victim's body was carried away and never found. If 10 murders were to occur at that same spot above the Eagle River, you can bet your boots that every other killer would have tossed the body in the water. Order, order. I'm not sure if I care for the way you put that, Miss Fey, but I must admit it does seem odd to not have thrown the body into the river. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? How sad. Perhaps Miss Fey would do well to try taking a dip in the river herself. After all, you claim to be such an expert in the ways of nature. What are you talking about? My point is that no matter how odd you may find the killer's method of body disposal, the fact is that this is what the killer did. None of your arguments have anything to do with what the witness saw. Quite true. Miss Fey, it seems that your assertion is without merit after all. But what the witness claims to have seen is totally ridiculous. Surely you can deny that the body was found in the trunk of the car. It's certainly consistent with what the witness has told us. Please, witness, go on with your testimony. All you have to do is tell us what you saw, otherwise the mean lady might yell at you again. Who is he talking about? Alright, I'll do my best. Well, Miss Foster, it looks like you've done it this time. Done what? Made a crucial mistake. Crucial mistake like what, Miss Fey? The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. You're saying you saw that, right? With your own eyes? Yes, and? It's simple, Miss Foster. Take a look at the diagram. The place you claim to have taken the photo from that day is here. You see what I mean? Even if you tried to see the car, this outcropping of rock is directly in the way. That's right, Miss Foster. From where you were standing, you could have not possibly seen the killer's car. I admit that the diagram shows a large outcropping of rock, however,
it isn't so tall that it would stop her from seeing the car. That's right, it's not high at all. I was able to see his car just fine. I'm so sorry, but that just doesn't wash. I believe it was the witness who presented this as evidence into the court, yes? This is the location the photo was taken from. Your own photo tells the whole story. You can clearly see the left side of the bridge, but the outcropping that's being referred to is really more like a cliff. Your view should have been completely cut off by this cliff, but you still claim to have been able to see the killer's car. Order! In the court? What is the meaning of all this ballyhoo? Your Honor, don't jump to any hasty conclusions. The fact that the escapee fled in a stolen car was reported on the news. After witnessing a murder, I'm sure you can appreciate that the witness was very upset. She must have heard about the stolen car and convinced herself that she saw it. But she was repeatedly warned before starting her testimony. She was told to testify only about what she saw with her own eyes. Mr. Judge? I think I must have remembered things wrong. Hey, wait just a minute. You can't just say that. Miss Fate, no one on the face of the planet is perfect. The error is human, to forgive divine. I'm inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to our witness here. What? That's not fair. Save the tears for later, kitten. Mr. Armando? Don't look back until the trial's over. Now is the time to go forward. But that wasn't fair. Okay, kitten, you need to relax. Then you need to remember the other kitten's testimony. The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hit the body in there. So tell me, how did she know that? How did she know that he broke into the trunk? Well, Miss Foster, until you can explain how you knew that, you're going to have a lot of very suspicious people on this side of the courtroom. What? Listen, I'm certain that he broke into the trunk because there was marks left on the trunk lid. Certain there were scratch marks from when he broke into it. What? Let me see that photo. It's true, these certainly look like scratch marks around the keyhole. It's obvious that this trunk has been broken open. Well, Miss Fair, are you satisfied? Melissa Foster, it seems that you finally betrayed yourself. What? You said you were in a field taking photos of wildflowers, but even so, you knew about the scratches. The question is when? When did you get a chance to see those scratches? Finally, I've got her. I'm getting pretty tired of waiting over here. Then perhaps it would be faster if Miss Fay explained herself. Your Honor, there's only one possible explanation. The reason the witness had to see the scratches was... only one way the witness had the chance to see those scratches. Yes, what is it? Naturally, when she opened the trunk and stuffed the corpse in herself. The person who really hid the body in the trunk of that car was Melissa Foster. It was you that did it, wasn't it? That's ridiculous. I can never... That was the man in the prison garb. He's the one that... I don't think so, Miss Foster. If Mr. Falls had been the one that put the corpse in the trunk, he would have simply used the car key. There was no need to break it open. But he stole the car. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light, which means that the key would still have been in the ignition. I see. Thank you for telling us about the scratches, Miss Foster. Without that, we would have uncovered the truth. That it couldn't have been Mr. Falls that put the body in the trunk. Preposterous to even suggest that the witness put the body in there. If that were true, then how do you explain the photo that she took? The corpse could only have been put in the trunk when the incident occurred. We already know that at the time she was taking photographs. What's your chance, Mia? Finish this thing. On the contrary, I'm not so certain about that anymore, Mr. Edgeworth. There's no need to think too deeply about it. What I'm saying is that the shutter for this may not have been pushed by Miss Foster herself. Let's take another look at this camera and see what features it has, shall we? It has a timer built into it, even a mini tripod. Why, it's almost as if she had brought this camera just to take this picture. What are you trying to say then, Miss Faye? That when the crime occurred, Miss Foster wasn't in the field as she claimed? Well, if she really did use the camera's auto timer, then the answer is yes, she was somewhere else. Exactly, she was not in the field. Who would the defense please explain further? Listen, this is a crucial point. Where was Miss Foster when the incident occurred? And answer that question will also make clear Miss Foster's true identity. Well then, please answer the question. Where was Melissa Foster when the incident on the bridge occurred? Naturally, the witness was right here. But that's where the victim, Miss Hawthorne, was standing. Order! Order! Miss Faye, what on earth? Your Honor, if I may. After parting with the victim on the bridge, the defendant fled by car. But this would mean that there was no time to put the victim in the trunk. In other words, if someone put the body in the trunk, it could only have been before the defendant met the victim. How asinine. Of course Mr. Falls met with the victim. The only person with the opportunity to have put the victim in the trunk is the same man that killed her, Terry Falls. You still don't understand, do you, Mr. Edgeworth? By the time the witness's photo was taken, the victim was already dead. The person in the photo was not Valerie Hawthorne. What? I've never heard anything more ridiculous in my entire life. Then who exactly is the victim in this photo? It's obvious, isn't it? It's your own witness. What? It's the only possible explanation. The woman that Mr. Falls met on the bridge that day was not Valerie Hawthorne. It was you, Melissa Foster. Me? Let's remember that on the rainy and foggy mountain on that day, Mr. Falls himself believed that the woman in front of him was Valerie Hawthorne. But the defendant knew that Valerie Hawthorne very well. After all, she was the woman whose testimony helped get him convicted. But since then, my client has spent 5 hard years in federal penitentiary. He couldn't remember exactly what she looked like anymore. You're just making this up as you go along. Where's your proof? Got it right here. This piece of evidence will blow this case open. At the time of the incident, Mr. Falls had forgotten what Valerie Hawthorne looked like. Mr. Falls had completely forgotten the victim's face. That's why he needed some piece of identification, namely this muddy scarf. It was Mr. Falls who requested that she wear the scarf to identify herself. It's already been proven by the note the victim left. In other words, as long as you were wearing a scarf like he asked, anyone could have pretended to be Valerie Hawthorne. Well, what do you have to say to that, Melissa Foster? Where's Miss Foster? She's collecting herself in the lobby. It's obvious that Melissa Foster did it. She hid the body in the trunk and disguised herself as the victim. She set up the camera to snap a fake photo of them together. The only question is, why did she do it? Well, isn't that obvious? She's the real culprit. Huh. Well, we'll have to wait for Miss Foster to compose herself before we start again. Until then, this court is in recess. Bids the prosecution are both await in their respective lobbies. Yes, Your Honor. Understood. Very well, this court is in recess. Mr. Falls, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I want to say thanks. You're really good. You really hooked me up. Thanks. We're almost there. Once I prove that she committed the crime. Yeah, but there's one big obstacle we've got to get past. Obstacle? Yeah, motive. Why would Melissa Foster kill that policewoman anyway? Motive, huh? Anyway, we're still badly in need of information. Information, right. What we need the most is info about this Melissa Foster herself. All we know is that she's a student studying literature. One more thing. What is it? Well, the incident that happened 5 years ago, of course. The kidnapping murder case that Zebra Boy is on death row for. I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. Mr. Falls, in that case, tell us more about it. About what happened 5 years ago. Okay, I trust you. That day 5 years ago, I dream of it every day. This picture reminds me of everything. Which looks the same, just like then 5 years ago, like it could fall apart. Fall apart any minute. So it's been broken like that for at least 5 years. Sorry, buddy, but you sound like the one that could fall apart at any minute. It's true, I did. I did kidnap her. 5 years ago, I kidnapped my girlfriend, Dahlia Hawthorne. Your girlfriend? Huh? Hold on there. Did you say Hawthorne? The victim's last name? Dahlia Hawthorne, Valerie's little sister. What? Are you serious? The girl, let her go. Shut up. Come closer, and I kill her. Sorry. But you're not going to get the chance. The detective back then was Valerie Hawthorne. At first I thought shooting someone for a kidnapping was crossing the line, but it was to protect her little sister. I can understand why she did it. Wrong. No protect sister. Valerie betrayed me. Betray us. What do you mean she betrayed you? Everything. All lies. All make-believe. Kidnapping too. Make-believe kidnapping? Dahlia, my girlfriend. My love. My teen angel. Did he actually say my teen angel? He's seen one too many soap operas. I'll do anything she says. Anything Dahlia says. Anything Dahlia said? Hold on a minute. What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by, yeah, me and Dahlia. And Valerie too. Valerie was in on it? Dahlia's family rich. Jewelry business. We get one jewel. That's what we thought. Me and Dahlia wrote kidnap note we sent to her dad. Asked for $2 million diamond. Tell him to make exchange on Dusky Bridge. Tell him Valerie made transfer because she knew detective. Having a police detective in your pocket is a useful thing, alright. In the end, you were planning on splitting the $2 million 3 ways, huh? Yeah, but that woman... That woman, Valerie, she do it for real. She shoot at me for real, me and Dahlia. I was shot in the arm. Dahlia, she jumped in the river. Jump? You don't mean she jumped on purpose, do you? I couldn't do it. I could never push her. Anyway, I blacked out when I wake up with police all over. And that's when they decided to give you the death sentence. Couldn't believe it. That woman, she betrayed me. That man, Terry Falls, he killed her. He threw her off the bridge. He threw my beloved sister into the roaring river 40 feet below. 5 years, all I wonder is why. Why? Why did she lie? That's all I want to know. So that's why you called her. You wanted to hear the truth from Valerie herself. Yes, but forget what she looked like, so I tell her to wear a scarf. I don't want to hurt her. I just asked why. Why did you lie? Why did you betray me? Just want to hear the answer come from her mouth, that's all. So that's why. That's why you made a crazy escape like that. Just one thing, Zebra Boy. My senses are tingling all over. Tell me, Mr. Falls, where is it? Huh? Where's what? Come on now, kitten. The ransom. The $2 million diamond. Remember that now? Did you give it back to Pops? Did the police take it? I don't know. Huh? You don't know? No, really, I don't know. It's gone. With Dahlia. With Dahlia? That day on the bridge. Dahlia put it in backpack. are gone, my Dahlia, forever, into Eagle River. Disappeared with Dahlia. Wait a minute. You can come back in now. We're about ready to go. Mr. Falls, just one more question. When you said with Dahlia, do you mean the diamond is still missing? Along with the body of Dahlia Hawthorne? Never found her, my sweet Dahlia. They never found her. Followed by River, gone, my teen angel. Your teen angel, how old was she anyway? Just 14. 14? Guess you're robbing cradles before diamonds. She plans a fake kidnapping and disappears into the river with a rock worth 2 mil. Man, oh man, angels these days. Falls takes the fall and gets a one-way ticket to death row. Is Dahlia Hawthorne really an angel, or is she really... It's time, kitten. It looks like we have a few more aces up our sleeve now. You bet. Trading wheels come off now, Mia. You gotta strike while the iron's hot. That's one of my rules, remember it. Now then, let's continue with the trial of Mr. Terry Falls. Witness, are you feeling better? Yes, Your Honor, I'll try my best. You're a brave young lady. Not this again. I can understand a defense lawyer wanting to get her client off the hook. However, to try to pin the crime on an innocent student is... What are you talking about? My witness is not the person on trial here. She is an innocent bystander who witnessed a violent crime, that's all. What possible reason would a girl like this have for murdering a policewoman? Certainly hard to imagine this woman as a murderer. Her motive, I guess that's what I have to establish next. Well, Mr. Ray, do you have any evidence of a motive? Yes, of course. I think. You're still acting as tame as a kitten. Mr. Armando, listen. A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Smiling on the outside while your guts are twisted in knots is the mark of a pro. Maybe so, but I wish you would quit grinning at me like that. Excuse me, may I speak, Mr. Judge? Of course, your Mr. Judge is ready anytime you like. I'd like to say something. Some people here are suspicious of me, right? That's why I just wanted you, Mr. Judge, to know that it's not true. I see, you're such an honest and upstanding young lady. Looks like this witness is a real professional. What do you mean? Look at the 100-watt smile. Just when things are darkest for her, click, she lights right up. Alright, well, let's hear what the witness has to say. I was out of the country until the year before last, and until I entered college I had never even been to Eagle Mountain before, and I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago? Or kidnapping a poor girl? I just think that the defendant is a terrible, horrible monster. Precisely. Furthermore, she has no possible motive for committing murder. Grab the back, kitten, sharpen those claws, and put on your best smile. Somehow I have to tie her to this case. Grudge? Well, the policewoman's testimony was crucial, wasn't it? Crucial in getting the defendant sentenced to death? Yes, and that's precisely why he harbored such deep anger against her. So much anger that he forgot his own guilt. My client has always maintained that he's innocent of those charges. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. He seems rather forgetful. Your client, I mean. Not only did he forget about what he did, but he forgot the poor policewoman as well. What do you mean by that? Your client. You forgot what the detective looked like, right? It's too bad for her that he didn't forget about her testimony as well. Well, she's right. Mr. Falls is kind of forgetful. You said he forgot what the detective looked like. What do you mean by that? Well, he couldn't tell who she was without some kind of identification, right? Quite right. That's why the victim was wearing a scarf as identification. Why, if I had been wearing a white scarf that day, then he probably would have tried to kill me.
It's true, he's clearly a bitter man.
It's bad. Mr. Fall's reputation just keeps getting worse and worse. Sometimes it's best to not poke too deep. What should I do with that statement? Your Honor, what the witness said just now is tremendously important. I'd like it added to the official testimony. The prosecution has no objection. After all, the defendant is a killer and a mentally unbalanced one at that. Testimony only helps to further prove that point. No, that's not why I... Enough. Witness, if you would. My pleasure, Mr. Judge. Witness, I want you to look at this photo you took. It's hard to see in the photo, but look at the scarf the victim wore as identification. Oh, you're talking about this scarf right here, right? Yes, that's it. The scarf the policewoman was wearing. Got her now. Just don't mess up. But that's strange. In your testimony, you stated the following. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. White? This is the scarf you identified as belonging to the victim. But it certainly doesn't look white to me. Well, it was foggy that day and it was raining as well. It's not surprising she mistook it for white. Sorry, but not this time. The witness just confirmed that this was the victim's scarf. Yes, but what's the significance? It's true the scarf doesn't look white, but there's only one explanation for this mix-up. The reason why the witness thought the scarf was white was... Witness, have you ever seen this note? No, no, never. It's top secret evidence. There's no reason that you would have. I wonder about that. What do you mean? This note shows Mr. Fall's instructions to the victim regarding their meeting. It says, wear white scarf for identification. White scarf? Witness, you knew what this note said, and it's because you knew that you slipped up and mistakenly said white scarf. Well, Miss Foster? Order, order! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm waiting for an explanation. I'm quite sure this note wasn't leaked to the public. And yet, this witness knew exactly what the note said. At the time of the murder, the number of people that knew were quite limited. Terry Falls is one, the person who wrote the note, Valerie Hawthorne is another, and finally, one more person. Did you say one more person? That's right, a person that no one would have suspected. Have you figured it out, kitten? Yeah. Third person that knew the contents of this note was... That person is Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne? I've never heard that name before. Look at the victim's note. This is what it says. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time. There's her name right there. What's this? So who is this person? This Dahlia Hawthorne? Miss Faye must be desperate if she's trying to bring the dead back to life. The dead? Dahlia Hawthorne was the victim's deceased younger sister. She was killed in a crime 5 years ago. Killed in a crime? You don't mean... Yeah, she was kidnapped and killed by Terry Falls. You said she was killed, but was she really? What are you implying? Of course people thought that she had died 5 years ago when she fell off the Husky Bridge and was lost in Eagle River. However, her corpse was never found. She was declared legally dead 5 years ago. As far as the law is concerned, Dahlia Hawthorne is officially dead. But the fact remains that her body was never recovered. Dahlia Hawthorne was 14 years old 5 years ago. If she were still alive now, she would be 19. Melissa Foster, I believe that's the same age you are. Objection! Even you couldn't. Miss Faye, you're not saying... But I am. That's precisely what I'm saying. This witness before us is the girl that was kidnapped and killed 5 years ago. This girl is in fact Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Nice work. That was like tossing a grenade into a 3-alarm fire. But unless you can tie all the loose ends together, you're nothing but a hit-and-run arsonist. Understand. If I can expose her true nature, I can turn this whole case on its head. There's a chance to meet Mr. Edgewood squirm. Witness, just who are you anyway? I didn't think it'd come to this. That's enough. You don't have to say any more, witness. Yes, I understand. What? Mr. Edgeworth, explain yourself. Your Honor, I have an admission to make. I honestly never thought the defense would pursue this matter this far. You don't mean... Yes, the prosecutor's office isn't filled with fools, you know. Naturally, we conduct full background checks on all of our witnesses. What did he say? Looks like the kid knew. He knew her true identity from the get-go. No way, but then why? If you hadn't revealed her secret, he wasn't going to say anything about it. All he wanted was her testimony, so he made a little trade. Let me introduce you to the victim's younger sister, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. But I thought she died 5 years ago. We thought so as well, but, well, as you can see. Why did she hide her identity for 5 years? That has nothing to do with the current case. She was merely an accidental witness to a crime. Accidental? I don't believe that for a minute. For the last 5 years, she's been playing the role of victim. And now we find her acting suspiciously at the scene of another murder. Really, Miss Fay, I must say, your strategy here is painfully obvious. You're trying to pin your client's crime on an innocent witness in order to win. At any cost. How dare you? Please let us take a moment to think. 5 years ago, this girl was kidnapped and nearly killed. But even worse than that, 5 years later, Dahlia Hawthorne lost something much more precious, her big sister. Miss Fay must be insane to even suggest that she murdered her. I'm inclined to agree with the prosecutor's logic. Miss Fay, do you have any evidence to back up your assertion? What possible reason would this witness have for killing her beloved sister? Well, you see, I thought I was winning, but he somehow turned it around on me. I think you need a push in the right direction. The defense is prepared to present evidence supporting our claim. That wasn't me. That was this guy, this crazy coffee addict. I think we've heard enough empty threats from you, old man. What makes you think they're empty, boy? Because your protege looks like she's sweating bullets. I'm sweating bullets. Think you're in a tough spot, huh? Of course, aren't I? No. You just arrived at the moment of truth, is all. Whether you win or lose, it's up to you. Rashness of youth, how charming. It's coming from someone younger than me. Now let's not waste any more time, Miss Fay. What motive would this witness have for murdering her own sister, Valerie? The story starts after Terry Falls' escape. He called Valerie and told her he wanted to meet. This is the note she left. It says, talk to Dahlia, tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Valerie Hawthorne gave Dahlia a warning. She told her that she was going to reveal to the world the whole truth. The whole truth? There was a dangerously important secret between Valerie and Dahlia, and that's the reason Dahlia felt she had to kill Valerie. To keep her mouth shut permanently. Terrific story, Miss Fay. You like fiction, that is. Enlighten the court, Miss Fay. What was the secret that was so important? Where's your evidence? Dahlia and Valerie Hawthorne and Terry Falls. There's only one important secret that connects them all. Oh yes, I know this secret. Your Honor, the defense would like to request further testimony. What testimony? Regarding the kidnapping 5 years ago, we believe it will explain a lot of things, such as the nature of the important secrets between the Hawthorne sisters. Very well, I'll grant your request for further testimony. I know it'll be painful for you, but could you enlighten us once more, my little maple leaf? Yes, I'll try. Mr. Judge. Putting on the old charm one more time, huh, Dahlia? This will be your last time you hide behind your womanly wiles. 5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls. The ransom price was a raw diamond, and my sister Valerie brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. That's when Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money, so I decided to change my identity and start a new life. The kidnapping left her emotionally scarred. With her sister's help, she left the Hawthorne family and started all over again. If we're to believe after all that she murdered her sister, preposterous. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Fay. As you've heard, the witness is still traumatized from the kidnapping. I'll ask you again to be extremely gentle in your cross-examination. Mr. Edgeworth got the jump on me again. If we're not allowed to fight, then let's twist some arms. Listen up, we're still got that info, that ace up our sleeve. What info? Come on, kitten, don't say you've already forgotten. The fact that the kidnapping 5 years ago was staged. That's right, it was a fake kidnapping. Terry Falls told us that in the lobby. Do anything she says, anything Dahlia says. He's saying is the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by, yeah, me and Dahlia. And Valerie. Yes, that's it. The fake kidnapping is your best shot. It's her secret. You say that Mr. Falls pushed you into Eagle River. However, that's hard to believe. But it's true. I felt the push on my back. I'm certain of it. It was Mr. Falls. I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't clear enough. I shouldn't have said that's hard to believe. I should have said that's impossible. Impossible? I asked the court recall the condition of Dusky Bridge now and 5 years ago. The bridge hasn't changed one bit in the last 5 years. Someone had pushed you from behind as you have claimed. Instead of being carried away by the river, you would have been smashed by the bedrock below, almost certain death. Do you understand now, Dahlia Hawthorne? The very notion that my client pushed you from behind is impossible. Your Honor, this event occurred 5 years ago. Why, for all we know, the water level in the river may have been higher back then. But it's 40 feet from the bridge to the river. A small change in water level wouldn't have made a difference. You're right. If the events occurred just as the witnesses testified, then the defendant couldn't have pushed the witness into the river. Young lady, what is the meaning of this? You see, just a moment, Your Honor. It's true the witness have testified that the defendant pushed her into the river. However, she's never stated she fell from the back end of the bridge. What do you mean? After being shot in the arm, it's possible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. If that's true, she would have fallen into the river. Well, Miss Hawthorne, is Mr. Edgeworth's explanation correct? Now that you mention it, I do remember now when I fell off the bridge, my skirt got caught on one of the bridge side wires. You can't be serious! Order in the court! It seems Miss Fay's assault has finally reached its conclusion. Not now, Mia. It's sometime I retreat. Unfortunately for you, this is just the start of Miss Fay's assault. What? I believe your reasoning was something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. However, once again, I'm forced to say that's impossible. Ridiculous. What's so impossible about it? As your flawed logic contradicts the court record. Your Honor, all the answers are right here in this photo. Take a look at the wires supporting both sides of the bridge. They extend up to about 5 feet off the ground. It would be impossible to push someone off from there. But let's remember the size and strength of the defendant. Wires like this wouldn't be a problem for him. Could have easily picked up a 14-year-old girl and thrown her over. So young and already so forgetful, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Falls had been shot in the right arm. And more importantly, Valerie Hawthorne had her gun trained on him at point-blank range. So, Mr. Falls throwing the witness off the bridge? That's clearly impossible. Order! What is the meaning of this? Dahlia Hawthorne, you jumped into the Eagle River intentionally. What is this? Indeed, what do you mean by such a ridiculous remark? Yes, it's ridiculous. My sister was there to help me. She had her gun in handcuffs. She could have saved me. Jumping into a raging river like that would have been suicide. Perhaps, but still, that's exactly what you did. You were probably confident that you could handle a swift current, but even more so, the witness had a much more compelling reason for jumping into the river. Oh, then what is it? What is so important that she'd want to jump into the river? The witness is still alive. The fact alone explains everything. This is why she risked her life by jumping into the rapids of the Eagle River. 5 years ago, something else disappeared along with Dahlia that day. This item that Valerie brought up the mountain with her, the $2 million diamond. No, it can't be. Yes, Dahlia had it all planned out from the beginning. The $2 million, she was going to keep it all for herself. She forced Mr. Falls to help her fake the kidnapping. At the last minute, she betrayed him and threw herself into the river, with the ransom tucked away safely in her backpack. Why, that's simply ridiculous. Your Honor, 5 years ago, the witness was only 14 years old. Do you really think a 14-year-old is capable of such a demonic plan? This woman is a demon, and there was one more person who helped make a demon out of her. Her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. You mean the victim was involved in the kidnapping plot as well? But she was the detective then. You're saying she had participated in her sister's kidnapping? Precisely. I'm sure that it weighed heavily on her conscience for the past 5 years. It's the sole reason behind the victim's murder. What do you mean by that? On the day of the murder, after receiving the phone call from Mr. Falls, Valerie called her sister Dahlia, and then she told her what she was planning to do. Planning to do? She was going to tell the whole truth as she wrote it in her note. That is what sealed Valerie Hawthorne's fate. That is when you hatched your demonic plan to kill two birds with one stone. A plan that would ensure neither of your accomplices to the kidnapping would talk. And that is why you killed your sister Valerie Hawthorne. Who is that laughing at a time like this? Forgive me, it's just hilarious. What, witness? Is that you? You amuse me, woman. Miss Mia Fey. You can certainly weave an exciting tale. Naturally, you have the evidence to back it up, don't you? Evidence? Evidence that I planned the kidnapping, of course. That at 14, I plotted it with Mr. Falls and my sister. Well, and one more thing. What happened to the $2 million diamond? Can't provide evidence to at least show that. Well, Miss Fey? I don't know. Joke. You, Miss Fey, are you stupid or something? How can I prove a fake kidnapping that happened 5 years ago? I don't even have decisive proof of Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Well, it seems that we've come to an end. To be honest, the witness's behavior does raise certain suspicions. However, I'm forced to reject the assertion made by the defense. Of course you are. Is this it? Is this really over? That girl has made a fool of me and there's nothing I can do about it. Without evidence, the trial is over? Who decided that? Mr. Armando? Come on now, kitten. Haven't you figured out that you can make your own rules? For example, even if there's no evidence, there's still testimony. testimony. On the day of the question, Dahlia Hawthorne murdered her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. She hid her body in the trunk of Mr. Falls' stolen car and then went to meet with him. Disguised as her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. That's what you think, right? Yes, that's right. In that case, there's only one answer, right? There's only one person left who can testify about Valerie Hawthorne's murder. There's no proof. There's only one thing left to do. Who's the one person that can testify to that demon woman's crimes? Your Honor, the defense wishes to call a new witness. A new witness? Yes, we'd like to hear the testimony of Terry Falls. The defendant? There's only one person that can shed any further light on the situation. Only one person that knows what Dahlia's role in the kidnapping was. And only one person that can say whether the person in the photo is Valerie, whether it was in fact her younger sister Dahlia disguised as her. There's only one person who can solve this riddle once and for all. That person is Terry Falls. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what is your take on this? Why not? The prosecution has no objection. Very well. Bailiff, bring the defendant to the witness stand. This is my last chance, Mr. Falls. My last chance to establish Dahlia's guilt. You're all I have left. Defendant, you've heard everything that's been said up to this point, yes? I don't believe it. No way. Dahlia died 5 years ago. Valerie betrayed me. Mr. Falls, I don't know what she said to you 5 years ago, but one thing is clear. Dahlia is very much alive, and you were used for $2 million. That's not true. Mr. Falls, there's only one question I want the answer to. 2 days ago on Dusky Bridge, who did you meet? Was it Valerie or was it Dahlia? Dahlia, did you betray me? 5 years ago she promised never to betray each other. Dahlia, it's true. You are alive. You don't trust me anymore? That makes me sad. Tell the truth, the real truth. I believed in you. I shouldn't need to say it. You should already know. But there is one thing I will say. My life is in your hands right now, Terry. Dahlia? Well, allow Mr. Falls to testify once and only once. Well then, Mr. Falls, yours will be the final testimony in this trial. Witness! Water, please, water. Can't talk, need water. Oh, well, I guess it'll have to be my coffee instead. At least it'll match the way he's probably feeling right now. Darker and bitter than hell itself. That day at 4 p.m. I stopped the car. It was in front of the bridge. She wasn't there, so I waited on the bridge. I watched my car burn. Watched my car from the bridge. I never put nobody in that car. Finally, one woman came. She stood in front of me. We talked, and then she left. That was Valerie, not my Dahlia. Mr. Falls, you're covering for her. Do you think she would do the same for you? That's enough, Miss Fay. His last statement was a fitting way to end the final testimony of the trial. Well then, Miss Fay, please proceed with your cross-examination. Is this how you want it to end, Mr. Falls? Another guilty verdict to go along with your death sentence? There's only one person who can stop it. You, kitten, I think. So when you got to the bridge, no one had arrived, huh? So you waited on the bridge? You're sure of that? Yeah, I'm sure. You're sure, huh? Well then I'm sure too, Mr. Falls. I'm sure that you're lying. Oh, I would love to hear your rationale on this, Miss Fay. You want to know who arrived at the bridge first? Just look at this photo, it's perfectly clear. Obviously the person that came first would be the one at the end of the bridge, right? But that's the victim at the end of the bridge. Precisely my point. In other words, Mr. Falls, you must have arrived at the bridge after she died. Or after she did. Can't fucking read. Mr. Falls, please don't get so worked up. We just want the truth. I got there around 4 o'clock, it's true. I had somewhere to go, a special place. Did you go to the special place before you went to the bridge? Yeah, an old temple about 15 minutes away from the bridge. 5 years ago, me and Dahlia promised each other. We swore we wouldn't betray each other. She brought a memento to represent our love. A memento? 5 years ago, I hid it under base of tree there. It's a special memory for me. This is it. This is what I went to get. This little bottle on a necklace is your memento? It's quite charming, but it looks empty. Your Honor, you heard what my client said. He arrived at the scene at 4 o'clock, but he then left his car unattended and walked away. He was gone for approximately 30 minutes. With that much time, Dahlia Hawthorne could have easily hidden the body in the trunk of his car. Indeed, there certainly was enough time for it. Still got a chance. Mr. Falls, there's no mistaking it. Huh? Mr. Falls? That's enough, please. Witness, I promised her 5 years ago. If it ever happens that we can't trust each other no more, then we're supposed to drink bottle. No, stop the trial! Your Honor, we need a recess. I was stupid, couldn't keep promise. So I did it. I drank this. No, we are so close, just a little more. I was going to prove your innocence. No, don't want that. Don't trust self. Maybe kill again. Let's kill sweet Dahlia again. Mr. Falls! Mr. Armando, thanks for the coffee. Mr. Falls! So my first trial ended suddenly and tragically. It ended with no winners, only losers. Ended up with a wound that cut so deep into my soul I thought it'd never heal. I was sure it was the same for the young prosecutor as well. One person, a true criminal, Dahlia Hawthorne, she left the courtroom with a secret smile on her demonically sweet face. Forgivable, that witch. Mr. Armando? So close to the truth, it was right there, right in front of us. You were just a little too soft, kitten. It's my fault? It's all my fault Mr. Falls killed himself. Don't cry, kitten. You're gonna make my coffee all salty. I knew I wasn't cut out for this. Mia. Don't you get it? You can't cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. Mr. Armando? No matter how tough the case, no matter how bitter the memories, they always fade over time. You file them away and you eventually forget them. One year later, in this very same courthouse, I myself got wrapped up in that case. Only after that did Dahlia Hawthorne get put on trial for her crimes. The verdict that was ultimately handed down to her was guilty, of course. Naturally, when the verdict was read, she had a perfect angelic smile on her face. It's finally all over. At least, that's what I thought at the time. Unfortunately, couldn't have been more wrong. It's been 5 years, but now something has happened that's made me remember all this. Damn, they just got the grippers out? Shishido, the treasured Korean village heirloom whose name means seven-branched sword. It's said that this sacred sword represents life itself. Though the branches may appear to be infinite, the choice is limitless. Like our destinies, the sword comes to but one end, one merciless point. And when the silver cord, the fragile thread that binds us to this world, is severed, the illusion is revealed and the implicability of fate is finally laid bare. Hey, Nick. What is it? You know how I've got spiritual powers unlike you? Sure, you are a spirit medium after all. But just like you, if I don't keep my powers sharp, they get dull, right? I guess so, yeah. Glad you agree. Okay, Pearly, you're up. Pearls? So, that's why we go on a special spiritual hotspot tour, Nick. I'm lost. What's this magazine you're shoving in my face? It's a New Year's issue of Cult Winter Spirituals Location Special. Oh, Rose looks so happy. Maximize your spiritual powers with just one night of intensive training. Oh, it sounds too good to be true. I'll say. It sounds more like a scam to me. It's a spiritual medium retreat called Hazakura Temple. It's way up in the mountains and I bet it's nice and cold, just perfect for training. Now I definitely don't want to go. You know, I think I've heard of this temple before. It's a famous channeling dojo. It's hard for even real spirit mediums like us to make reservations up there. Reservations for a temple? Are you serious? Don't worry, I've already made special reservations just for us. Yeah, and it's signed up for the special course. That's nice, and the timing couldn't be better, since we don't have a case right now anyway. Alrighty then, it's settled. Well, come on, don't just stand there, start packing your stuff. Yes, Mr. Nick, you better start packing your stuff. Me? Why do I have to go? Well, we have to be accompanied by someone over 20 years old. Hey, I don't have anything to do with spirit power. The only thing I could channel is a TV. So, is there a heated pool at this Hazakura temple? No, but you can stand under a freezing waterfall. Sorry, but I think I'll pass. I hate cold places. What? No way! How can you be so selfish? Come on, Mr. Nick, look at this place. Doesn't it look beautiful? Nope, not going. I'm not gonna be nice and toasty at home. What? What is it, Mr. Nick? Let me see that magazine. This nun. Is she a friend of yours or something, Nick? This girl. It's... My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. Honestly, how can any woman ever count on you for anything? You disgust me. But it can't be. She is found guilty and should still be in prison. Mr. Nick? I'll go. Huh? Hazakura Temple, I said I'll go. Yeah, isn't that great, Pearly? Yes, thank you, Mr. Nick. You do anything for Mystic Maya, right? Even walk over burning coals, right? Dahlia Hawthorne. I knew there was no way she could possibly be at that temple, but I just had to see for myself who this nun really was. It's so cold here, Nick. Maybe you should put on something warmer for a change? Well, it's supposed to be cold. It's training. Teeth are chattering so loudly, it's all I can do to make out what she's saying. Wow, Mystic Maya, so this is the famous Hazakura temple. Pearly, well. Oh, nice to see you here. Welcome to our temple. Oh, thank you. Oh my. Thank you for coming all this way. Come now. You must have been so cold. Oh, well, we are high up in the mountains after all. In any case, shouldn't speak here. Please follow me inside. Thank you. I was starting to think I would... Oh, yes. I almost forgot to introduce myself. I'm the head nun here at the temple. My name is Bikini. Bikini? That's right. Actually, that's my temple name. What do you think? It's traditional to have one. And I wanted something that had a nice image to it. So I thought, why not choose a bikini? Besides, it makes me seem younger. Certainly does. Oh, I signed up for your special course. Well, my. Quite brave of you considering how cold it is. Young people can be so reckless with their health. Don't blame me if you become one with those you channel. Reckless? Maybe you should take it easy tonight, Mystic Maya. We can come back another day. But you went through all that trouble to get reservations. Yes, that's right. You've come all this way, so please enjoy yourselves. There's still time before supper, so why don't you have a look around? So what's a channeling dojo anyway? Oh my. You don't even know that? Forgive him, sister, for he knows not what he is saying. Well, just call me Bikini and forget that sister part. The channeling dojo is basically a spiritual power training ground. We have special holy items prepared here to help people boost their spiritual power. Holy items? If you train an entire evening surrounded by these items, it's quite mysterious. The spiritual power of these items seem to envelop you. Oh, she must have just gotten off the trolley from the land of make-believe. So what exactly is the special course? You must be incredibly devoted to be interested in that at such a young age. It's a training session where you sit on a block of spirit ice and chant a spell. 30,000 times, all while being showered in freezing cold spirit water. Huh? It's February now, right? You have to be careful this time of year. If you don't watch it, you'll catch pneumonia or maybe even die of hypothermia. So be careful, you hear? How am I supposed to be careful? No, I knew I shouldn't have signed Mystic Maya out for this. Sister, about this picture. Well, look at that. I must say I look rather divine here, don't you think? Oh, yeah, unforgettable in every way. You mean it? Oh, I knew it. Makeup was pretty tough, but Iris helped me out. Iris? The cute little girl in the photo. She looks just like me, doesn't she? We're just a small temple here, so she and I run the entire place. Really? That kind of sounds like... Sorry to cut in, but this Iris, where is she right now? Oh, just listen to you. You haven't come all the way up here just to find a girlfriend, have you? No. That's not what I had in mind at all. Anyway, Iris is in the inner temple preparing for this evening. Inner temple? Yes, that's right. Iris will be back this evening. Why don't you go have a look at the main hall for now? She's in the inner temple, huh? The main hall? I think it's even colder in here. Ah, Mr. Nick, do you smell that? It smells like meat and gravy. Yeah, you're right. I guess it's pot roast for tonight. Weird. I thought they would serve something a little more, well, traditional. What are you talking about, Nick? You think monks and nuns just sit around eating rice gruel all the time? Mystic Maya's right. Oh, I hope there's mashed potatoes too. I love mashed potatoes. The cute little acolyte. Greetings to all of you. Oh, hello. This lady makes Maya look like a 6.8 out of 10 on the weirdness scale. Your outfit. Did you come here for the special course too? Unfortunately, no. Actually, you're Miss Elise Duxnam. My name is Pearl Faye. I'm your biggest fan. Who is she, Nick? See now, Zavari, a fortune teller? Got all your books, Miss Donut. I don't know how to pronounce that name, so I'm just gonna call her Miss D. Sweet thing to say, and please just call me Elise, thank God. Books? Mr. Nick, don't you know anything? Don't you even know who this is? Well, an author maybe? Yes, and an illustrator of picture books. Picture books, huh? Oh, now I get it. I'm sorry I didn't know who you are. I don't get a lot of chance to really enjoy picture books. It's alright. I take no offense to that. My books are nothing but simple stories for children. Really beautiful pictures too, Miss Elise. Your books always make me feel as if my heart has been purified. It makes me very, very happy to hear you say that. I do have to admit, she certainly seems like a kind, sensitive lady. Miss Elise won an award last year for her book, The Magic Bottle. Yes, a friend of mine secretly submitted a story I'd written to a publisher. They liked it so much they asked if it was alright to make it into a book. Must have been a really great story. Maybe I should try to write a children's book too. If I do, you can secretly send it to a publisher for me, Nick. Recently, I've accepted sort of apprentice, you might say. An apprentice? He calls himself Larice. I believe he's off doing some landscape sketches now. On Larice's behalf as well, I'd like to thank you for your support. Of course, Miss Elise, anything for you. Why did you come to Hazakura Temple, Miss Elise? Are you here to do some spiritual training? No, that's not it. I'm actually here to gather materials for a new book I'm working on. Wow, I can't wait to read it. Rose is completely taken with her. I wanted to do a book with a more Japanese feel to it this time, so is that why you're dressed like you are? The children have a certain image of me in their minds. I don't want to disappoint them. What can I say? She's a really sweet lady. Wow, Miss Elise, you're dressed up like a mountain nun. Yes, the good people here were kind enough to let me borrow this. I'm wearing training clothes underneath my robe as well. I want a staff like that. Like the crystal sphere. It's a real amethyst, you know. Maybe we'll find one like that up here up on this mountain. Look, Nick, I know you'll find me one. Well, you'll have to excuse me now. I have to go help with the dinner preparations. Oh, you mean you're cooking dinner tonight? That's right. Would you like to help too, Carl? Yes, I want to help with whatever I can. Girls look like you just won the lottery. I'll help too then. No, it's fine. Please don't worry about it. Feel free to relax and explore the area with your friend. But, oh, yes, please take this. I think it'll be of help to you. It's a map of the area. We wouldn't want you to get lost now, would we? The inner temple. There it is on the other side of the bridge. Well, if you insist, I guess we'll take this chance to go check out the other temple. Okay, I'll see you two later then. Remember, you're not allowed to fight. Come on, Nick, let's go. At least we'll stay warm if we keep moving. Huh? Where did the Sister Bikini go? I guess she went to the inner temple to go help that other nun out. Oh, right. I think her name is Iris? Yeah, that was it. I want to find out who Iris really is, but I'm scared of what I'll find. Wow, look at this broken down old bridge, Miss Nick. Yeah, look at that big canyon below us. Hey, there's a river down there. It looks like it's flowing really fast. What's wrong, Nick? You look like you've seen a ghost. I'm just not very good with heights. Oh, hey, I've got it. Maybe you should face your fear and try hurling yourself off the edge. You know, 1, 2, 3, jump? Might be just what you need to get over your fear of heights. Yeah, death is a real good way to overcome phobias, alright. Anyway, it sure looks like a rickety bridge. Can't argue there, that's probably why it's called Dusty Bridge. Read it again, Maya. It says Dusky Bridge. Well, it's practically the same thing. Anyway, the inner temple's just up ahead, right? So let's go and check it out. Oh, why isn't there another way across? Whoa, that bridge was shaking like jello in an earthquake. And at least half of the wood on that rickety bridge is rotting, I bet. Not to mention the last part only had like one board left on it. What's wrong with you? Your face is all green. Can you not pick on me for a second? I'm still trying to get over the shock that we made it safely across that death trap. Yeah, I guess I'm a bit surprised too. Yikes, the temple's in bad shape. It looks like it could collapse at any time. Guess people don't use it too often. Is this really where you're going to train tonight? This has to be it. It's kind of creepy around here, like a ghost might jump out at you or something. Spirit medium afraid of ghosts. Isn't it ironic? Man, look at this place. It's just a tiny freezing cold room. So this is where you'll both be training, huh? What do you mean both? I'm the only one. Really? But I thought Pearlie's just a little kid. She couldn't handle this kind of intense training. So says the girl who I can barely hear over her teeth chattering. Anyway, the real training room must be behind that door over there. Yep, definitely getting the feeling it's back there. Even I can sense that there's something supernatural about the cavern behind that door. Excuse me, but who are you? Oh, you're... Hi there. We're just looking around since we're going to be staying here tonight. Is something wrong? Oh, it's nothing. I wonder why she's spaced out like that, don't you, Nick? Did you say something, Maya? Not you too, Nick. My name is Iris. I'm one of the nuns here at this temple. My name's Maya Fabe. It's a pleasure to meet you. Pleasure is mine. Oh, please excuse me. I have some chores to attend to. She sure is beautiful and a bit spacey, I guess. Guess she's just not used to talking with urban sophisticates like us. Nick? That girl, it can't be, but... Scroll to... what is it? Why did you scream like that? This scroll, it's my mother. What? It's Misty Faye, the master of the Korean School of Channeling. Are you sure? Yes. The crest at the top of the scroll, that's a special mark of the master in our tradition. So that's what the mark means. What is it? Nothing. It's just that I last saw her over 15 years ago. If it wasn't for that crest, I wouldn't have even known it was her. My own mother, and I can't even recognize her face. Managed to make it across Dusty Bridge. Nick, you look green. Are you feeling alright? Hey, what's wrong with you? Ever since we met Sister Iris at the training hall, you've been really quiet. Huh? Sorry. Hey, you, wait up! Think he's yelling at us? Must be, there's no one else around. Do you mind moving? You're standing right in my way. Hey, I know you, you're... Whoa, sorry, gotta run. See ya. Hey, wait a minute. Oh, nice to meet you. I'm, Larice. Liar, you're Larry. Your clothes may change, but you're still the butts. Shut up. I'm Larice, and I'm just here to do a sketch of Dusky Bridge. So it really is our Larry. Not that I get why he's pretending to be someone else. So what are you doing with that last name? Well, I wanted to start over again with a clean slate. A clean slate? You remember, don't you, last time? The mask-to-mask case. After that, I started to realize I didn't like this guy known as Larry Butts, and that's when I came across it, the Book of Destiny. Book of Destiny? Do you mean The Magic Bottle by Miss Elise? It's so beautiful, so moving, so gentle. Heart felt cleansed, I was saved. Maybe I should buy a copy of The Magic Bottle. Wow, Larry would make a great book salesman. I really want to get that book now, too. She's the most wonderful person I've ever met. I'd follow her anywhere. Well, she certainly is a very elegant lady. See? You see? Here's a photo I took of her in secret. Oh, that's a beautiful photo. You want a copy, don't you? Oh, it's okay, I happen to have extra prints. Still, it's kind of hard to imagine you as a picture book illustrator. So tell the truth, you must have some kind of ulterior motive, right? What are you talking about? I don't trust anyone anymore, especially not women. Talk about a bad case of denial. Anyway, can you even draw well enough to make a picture book? Art isn't only about technical skill, you know, it's also about having a pure heart. And that's why I'm asking, can you draw well enough to make a whole book? Now that you mention it, I wonder. Looks like you still have some doubt in your heart. It's true, I do. When I first saw her, I felt it. I felt something inside me ended and something else began. Oh, Larry, it sounds like you may have fallen in love with Miss Elise. No, you're wrong. It's not her. It's the other girl. Other girl? Uh-oh. I got a bad feeling about this. Oh, yeah, her. My little Iris. She's really pretty. This girl, she's perfect. She's exactly my type. I wonder if she would model for me. I want to draw a portrait of her. Yeah, you always liked those model types, didn't you, Larry? Hey, wait a sec. Didn't you say you were swearing off women? Yeah, that's right. Of course I have. I have basically, but Iris is different. I feel like I still have one chance left at the dream. This guy'll never change. Everyone. Hey, Pearly. Dinner preparations are complete. Please come quickly to the main hall. Alright, I can't wait to dig in, Pearly. I'm going to go to the inner temple and call Sister Iris. I also want to have a look at where Mystic Maya's going to be training. Boy, am I stuffed. Are you sure it's alright to eat that much before your training? Well, this kind of training is a battle of endurance. Mystic Maya, please don't... No pain, no gain, I guess. I'm still worried about you. Well, let's not dilly-dally shilly-shally. You must get ready for tonight. Good luck, Maya. Alright, here I go. I'll see you tomorrow, I guess. Iris, please ring the bell at 10 for lights out, alright? Yes, Sister Bikini. And then after you ring the bell, I want you to come join us at the training hall. I understand. Maya and Bikini really seem excited about this training thing tonight. Well, Pearl, what are you gonna do tonight? Well, if you'd like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together. Really? I'd love to. I'm not very good at reading. Well then, would you like to practice reading with me? I'd love to. Pearls is absolutely spitting with Miss D. So, Larry, what are you gonna do? Me? Well, I'm just gonna hang out in my room. I can't stand the cold at all. Totally hear you there. Miss Elise, so for example, how do you read this? It says gravely. It's kind of a tough word. Oh, okay, and what about this word? It's another tough one. It says roast. What kind of book is she reading anyway? Well, I'm gonna go wash the dishes and help clean up. I'll go visit you when we're done, Miss Elise. Well, not much to do except head to my room and huddle under the covers, I guess. It's a whole different type of cold up here in the mountains. Why couldn't the nearest bathroom be just a little closer to my room? Mr. Wright? Ah. Oh, Miss Elise, are you going to use the bathroom too? No, but have you seen Pearl? No, not since after dinner. Thought she said she was going to go to your room. I know, but she never showed up. I'm gonna look for her. Please excuse me. It's Elise, a woman as mysterious in origin as her last name. But the really mysterious one is Sister Iris. Good evening. The really mysterious one is this girl. Are you on your way to the bathroom too, Mr. Wright? Can't let this chance pass me by. I should try to talk with her and maybe get some answers. Your sister Iris, right? Yes. When did you come to Hazakura Temple? I don't remember. Ever since I was a small child, the temple has been my home. So you've never left? Well, I don't have any family left to take care of me. Sister Bikini, I've come to think of her as my real mother, as it were. Ah, I see. But didn't you go to college? And maybe enroll in the Ivy University Literature Department? No, I've never had an interest in going to a big university like that. Training is all the education I need. I see. But once in a while, when I got the chance, I make a trip to the nearby town. I can use a computer on my cell phone too. It's not exactly something worth bragging about, but I don't see any psych locks. I guess that means she's not lying. Please don't stare at me like that. What kind of place is this anyway? I heard it's for training to increase your spiritual power or something like that. Must seem awfully crazy to normal people like you. Well, I have to admit, it is a whole different world up here. I'm glad to hear you say that. Huh? Talking with dead people. Who does it help anyway? I hate it. Really? So then why stay in a place like this? Something wrong? I didn't realize it was so late. I have to go and ring the bell for lights out. Guess it's almost 10, huh? Mr. Wright? If it's alright with you, I would like you to have this. This is your hood. It has the power to protect you from evil spirits. Now to think of it, Sister Bikini was wearing one of these too. I pray for your safety on this dark, cold night. Sorry, but I must bid you good night. Wait a minute, Sister Iris? Just now, you called me by my name. You said Mr. Wright. How did you know my name? I've never introduced myself to you. That's... Sister Iris, please tell me the truth. You and I, have we ever met before? Iris? It's almost 10. Perhaps we could speak again tomorrow? So my hunch was correct. She does know me. I'll have to try to talk with her again tomorrow. What the? That blood-curdling scream came from the courtyard. The scream was sure it came from around here. What? Someone's there on the ground? Miss Elise. I just stepped on something soft. Hey, don't step on my tummy like that. What are you doing lying in the snow? I was passed out. What do you think? Her blood-curdling scream was you? Forget about that. Hurry up, call the police. Is there even a phone in the main hall? No, but we still get reception up here in the mountains. You must have a cell phone on you, right? I didn't bring it with me. Oh, you're useless. I mean, even Iris has a cell phone. I have no choice. So use the public phone by Dusky Bridge. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Run as fast as you can. Don't hurry. Iris will... Bridge is just up ahead. I have to go tell Maya what happened too. Huh? Dusky Bridge, it's burning down? What the heck happened? What are you doing here? What is it? What is it me? Don't scream at me like that, Larry. I almost had a heart attack. Maybe it's Larry. It's Larry, hurry up and call the police. I'm going to the inner temple. Don't be stupid. The bridge is nothing but a burning wreck right now. Listen to me. There's been a murder here at Hazakura Temple. What? The murderer might have fled across the bridge. Let's make sure Maya's safe. But please call the police. You gotta go. Get out of my way, Larry. It's too dangerous. Nick, wait. Must have been crazy. I knew how dangerous it was, but I still went for it. Nick! Thinking even more by the fire, the rickety old bridge's plank snapped and gave way, and as I was swallowed by the eternal darkness that surrounded me, a final terrified scream rose up to pierce the frozen air of the harrowing night. You lost me, boys. Could it be at this time of night? Yes, Edgeworth speaking. Edge, get up, it's an emergency. Huh, Larry? Do you know what time it is? It's not Larry, it's Larice. This is nothing more than a terrible nightmare. I'll just roll over it. Wait, don't hang up, it's an emergency. It's Nick. He took a really nasty spill. Well, it wouldn't be the first time, so... I'm not joking, his life is in danger. What? What happened? Tell me. Talk about a guy with bad luck. He may already be dead. Anyway, you've got to come back. You're the only one that can help. It's my beautiful Iris. She needs help. Alright, I don't know what's going on, but I'll be there as soon as I can. I'm at the detention center. Please hurry. It's been 1 year since I left that country. Thought I wouldn't have to see him again for a while. Sounds like it wouldn't be a pretty reunion, as if I expected anything to change. Good late, Edgy. What took you so long? I don't want to hear it. I chartered a private jet to come as quickly as I could. Well, you should have chartered a faster one. Anyway, just listen. Something happened. Say something, Edgy. Before I came here, I stopped by the hospital and paid Wright a visit. I believe I have a better understanding of the situation than you at this point. The murder victim was the picture book author, Miss Elise Dictionary. She was found by Wright and the head nun. The suspect is the temple's younger nun. And later, while Wright was crossing the bridge, it broke and he fell into the river. The hospital says that he'll need at least 2 days of bed rest. Yes, that's right, you got it. But they arrested her, my sweet little Iris. And here I was, convinced he was the one the police had arrested. However, I still don't understand what these 2 items are for. What are you talking about? They're things Wright gave to me when I was leaving his room. This is the first. He said some nonsense about being able to see into people's hearts with this. And the other, he couldn't possibly be asking what I think he is, could he? I'm begging you, Iris's trial starts tomorrow. With Nick out of the picture, you're all I got left. You're the only one that can represent her. What did you just say? You know, represent, defend. What were you expecting? What do you think I called you for anyway? I'm a prosecutor, Larry. Do you understand what I'm saying? A prosecutor is a lawyer who... Don't talk to me like a kid. I graduated from junior high, you know? Don't worry about it. I promise I won't tell, but I mean, I heard a paper batch had no problem fooling an entire court before. How could this country's judicial system have fallen into such decay? Please, Angie, at least listen to her. Listen to Iris' side of the story. So Wright wasn't joking when he gave me this badge after all. Thank you for coming. My name is Iris Edgeworth. Miles Edgeworth. I don't know if I can be of any help, but I will at least hear what you have to say about the murder. Mr. Wright, how is he? Mr. Larry said that he might even die. Fortunately, he will be fine. Larry, you moron, how could you say something like that? He's badly bruised when he hit the water, but otherwise he is unharmed. Thank goodness. But he's got some kind of nasty cold. The cold? He's running a high fever and is drifting in and out of consciousness. Must be imagining things. This woman, I feel like I've met her before. Pardon me, Iris. I would like to ask you something if you don't mind. I have the distinct feeling you and I have met before. It must be your imagination, Mr. Edgeworth. After all, I hardly ever leave Hazakura Temple. Hazakura Temple? What's that? It's a place where those who wish to boost their spiritual power come to train. You need to undergo some very difficult training to release your inner spiritual power. Spiritual power? Did you go to that temple for that reason as well? No, I don't have any spiritual powers. I don't need them. In that case, what are you doing at the temple then? I've committed some sins that I need to pay for. That's why I'm there and why I continue to train, to purify my soul. I want to ask you about last night, the night of the crime. Alright, I helped to clean up after dinner and then went back to my room about 8. Later I left my room to ring the lights out bell at 10. Bell? We ring it at the same time each night. I see, and then? And then, I was told to go to the training hall, but I went back to my room and stayed there. Why didn't you go to the training hall like you were asked to? I was frightened. Frightened? So I just stayed in my room and meditated until the murder happened. There's more to her story, I just know there is. Maybe I should dig a little deeper. You were asked to go to the training hall the night of the murder? Yes, however, you didn't go because you said you were frightened. What exactly were you so frightened of? What in the world? Is there something wrong? I'm sorry, it's nothing. Looks like she's not aware of them herself. This must be what Wright was talking about, these psycho locks. I believe he said that I need to present this Magatama item to do something. So do you have any idea as to what really occurred last night? I think it was the result of the tremendous spiritual power that was unleashed. Spiritual power? Yes, spiritual training has been a cause behind many great tragedies. This incident was just another example. Iris, I'm sorry, but I can't accept that. I'm a man of science. I don't believe in spiritual power. Yes, I understand. Most people don't. And I'm certain that the thing that killed the victim was a human. So please answer me the simple question. Were you the one who killed Elise? No. I'm not the one who took her life. Those psycho-lock things aren't appearing. I suppose that means I can believe that she's not lying. What's wrong? I can't believe what I'm thinking, and here I just finished saying that I don't believe in spiritual powers. It appears that's all you can tell me. Thank you very much for listening to my story. I visited Wright before at the hospital for coming here. He asked me to take care of you. Me? Yes, at the trial tomorrow, he asked me to defend you. If Mr. Wright has that much faith in you, Mr. Edgeworth, then I will gladly entrust my fate in your capable hands. But before that, I have one question. Yes? Do you know Wright? Why would you ask that? Whenever you came up in our conversation, you would begin to act a little strange. Hey, Sierra. How's it going? Mr. Edgeworth, what is Mr. Wright to you? He's a very dear and indispensable friend. 5 years ago, that's when I deceived him. You deceived him? I heard that he was in a lot of pain afterwards because of what happened. I know what a weak person I am. That's why I thought it was best if he never saw me again. I wanted him to just forget about me without learning the truth. Well, if you ask me, Wright is still suffering. And until he learns the truth, I don't think he'll ever be able to truly recover. Iris, it's not too late. You should go to him. Tell him the truth. I'll defend you, but only if you agree to that one condition. Alright, Mr. Edgeworth. Promise. Very well. I'll do everything in my power to get you an acquittal. It's a little loud, thank you. Turn that down a couple decibels here. Sure is cold, alright. So this is it, Dusky Bridge. Oh, wow, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. Detective Gumshoe. Long time no see. It's been about a year, or has it been longer? Doesn't matter, Detective. What does matter is why you're still shuffling around up here. Oh, ouch, and there's the sharp left jab. Well, I'm happy to see you anyway, Mr. Edgeworth. Let me guess, you were transferred by HR to the local precinct? A wise decision. The vast amount of nothing up here should be quite easy to guard. heard you were back in the country and arranged to come all the way out here. Everybody was real nice. They even let me take charge of the investigation, sir. Gumshoe indeed, like gum on your shoes, impossible to get rid of. Supposed to report on the details of the crime, sir. Anyway, here I am, Detective Dick Gumshoe reporting for duty. Great. Thank you, Detective. I thought Prosecutor Godot was gonna get here before me. You guys are a real mystery, I tell you. Prosecutor Godot? Just got back into the country, so I don't really know much about the case. It's simple. Well, simple as simple does, as they say. Oh, you've got no idea how much I've missed that biting sarcasm of yours, sir. But seriously, this one's a piece of cake. There's a witness that saw the whole thing. A witness? Yeah, that bikini lady. Bikini lady here on this freezing cold mountain? Well, you should talk to her yourself if you want the details, sir. I may have to talk to this bikini lady. I mean, decisive witness myself. So, this is the bridge that Wright fell through? Yep, I can't imagine being that reckless myself. Look before you cross is how it goes, right? Or was that leap? And is there something on the other side? Yeah, some old building they call the Inner Temple, but we can't get over there without a bridge, sir. What? Nobody lives there, so that's usually not a problem. But someone was at the Inner Temple doing some training and now they're stuck there. Yes, I heard that from Wright. It's Maya Fey. Her again? Anyway, the air's really turbulent right now, so we can't do an aerial extraction. No one's going to be able to reach the Inner Temple until tomorrow, sir. She'll be right in this cold? So, how did the bridge burn down anyway? We're almost 100% sure it was lightning. Lightning? You're telling me the bridge caught on fire during a fluke bolt of lightning? Yep, last night it snowed for the first time in 3 days. It's a little unusual for lightning to occur during a snowfall like that, but according to the weather data, the lightning definitely struck. I see. This is a very detailed weather report. Almost too detailed. It even has the exact time that the lightning struck the bridge. Oh, we got that information from the witness's testimony. Someone actually saw the lightning hit the bridge? Who was this witness? Sorry, I'll go ask one of the local cops later, sir. So who is this Prosecutor Godot? I've never heard of him. Yeah, he's a new guy. Showed up after you left the country. He's a complete rookie, but nobody can say a bad word about the guy. What kind of man is he? He just became a prosecutor recently, but he's good, sir. Real good. He's so good, how is it that I've never heard of him? Is he the lead prosecutor on this case? You bet he is. After all, you know who is right in the middle of it. You know who. Phoenix Wright, of course. For some reason, Godot he's got it in for Mr. Wright. Oh? Yeah, he seems to have some kind of grudge. And what would be the cause of this grudge? I don't know. Maybe he made fun of his mask or something? None of this is making any sense. I better look into this Godot myself. Yo, Edgy, what took you so long? It's so cold my brain's turned to sherbet. I knew it was a mistake to race back to this country. What do you mean? Wright is gonna be fine, and this case itself isn't anything unusual. And I find myself taking a request to defend a woman accused of murder. Hey, wait a sec, hold it. Objection. What's going on here, Mr. Edgeworth? It's hard to explain, but one thing led to another, and... How lame excuse is that? And you call yourself a defense attorney? Prosecutor Edgeworth's a prosecutor, and that's why he's Prosecutor Edgeworth. Prosecutor Edgeworth defense attorney just sounds plain old weird, pal. Right, Prosecutor Edgeworth? I'm not sure what role I'm supposed to be playing anymore. Dude, Edgy, I don't see you for a couple years and your heart's turned to sherbet. Say more like sorbet, it is rather cold here. Iris didn't murder her, someone else did. I just know it, okay? So trust me on this one. Ever the romantic, aren't you, Larry? Nevertheless, I'll do whatever I can to prove her innocence. At least until I pass the baton on to Wright, that is. Man, I'm telling you, Iris are so cute. Right, Edgy? You think so too, don't you? What's wrong? Why are you so quiet? Put it simply, your comment has me highly concerned. Could it be that the reason you think she's innocent? Come on, a girl that cute can't possibly be a murderer. I was right after all. I should have never come back. No, no, don't worry. I see things for how they really are this time, honest. I had a penny for every time you said that. It's just that, well, Iris is a really delicate flower. You can't force things too much, know what I mean? Huh? I have no idea what you're talking about, Larry. Oh, forget it. I didn't say anything. Larry, where were you and what were you doing on the night of the crime? Larry? What? Don't tell me. You think I might have done it? What? Get lost. Go back on your charter jet and get out of my sight, you creep. And I hope your plane crashes and you die. It's just one more time. On the night of the murder, where were you and what were you doing? I'm sorry, man. You know me. I just don't remember. Short-term memory's a wreck, dude. Yeah, I feel that. Hey, hello there. So, how are you feeling? Alright, I suppose. Huh? Who is this? My name is Miles Edgeworth. My, a handsome boy such as yourself is always welcome. Circumstances were so tragic, I might just... Please don't call me boy. I'm sorry to trouble you, but I'm looking for a woman in a bikini. Well, you found her. Now what can I do for you? I'm sorry, but I don't see any bikinis. If you ask nicely, I might give you a peek, big boy. Mr. Edgeworth? This is the head nun's sister bikini. She's the witness. Why didn't you tell me that earlier? It's exactly why your salary keeps on getting cut. My stomach's already growling in protest. So, what's the latest about my beloved Iris? Well, first, I want to hear what you know. First, I'd like to ask you about last night. Well, last night we had an acolyte here for training. After dinner, the two of us went to the training hall in the inner temple. She must be talking about Maya. Approximately what time was that? I suppose it was about 9 when we left here. Training lasts all night long. It's extremely exhausting. The channeling dojo's head nun must be in attendance at all times to keep watch. Wow, you're right. That does sound exhausting. Detective, this is no time for flattery. Sorry. Sometime around 11, you witnessed the incident in the courtyard, but your duty was in the inner temple. Why did you come back here? The way you're staring at me, I'm starting to get goosebumps. I'm starting to get goosebumps myself, but for a decidedly different reason. Oh, you get chills, You get chills pretty easy, don't you, Mr. Edgeworth? Alright, then I'd like you to tell me exactly what you saw in the courtyard. Must have been past 11. No, I can't say it. It's too much for my poor heart. Hey, calm down, lady. Let go of my tie. I saw two people. One of them was lying on the ground. The other was stabbing her from the back with the sword. Did you see the criminal with your own eyes? I didn't want to believe what I was seeing, but it was Iris. You must have been quite shocked. Of course she was. Try putting yourself in her shoes. It'd be like if you were stabbing Mr. Right smack in the middle of the court, and I happened to witness it from the witness stand. I'd be pretty shocked too. I know it sounds insane, but that's what I saw. When I finally realized what I was seeing, I screamed and then I passed out. Fortunately for us, her testimony seems to be pretty solid. However, the idea of Iris doing such a foul act seems unnatural. Unnatural? The girl I know simply isn't capable of this sort of foulness. I don't know what she means by that. So who is this acolyte that was to train at the inner temple? Her name is Maya Fey. I treated her very badly, I'm ashamed to say, and after she went through the trouble of signing up for the special course... Special course? It's a training session where you sit on a block of spirit ice and chant 30,000 times. You don't mean to tell me she's still doing that over at the inner temple, do you? No, of course not. You don't have to worry about that one little bit. Last night we still hadn't started the training session itself. Well, that's good to hear. There is one thing I forgot to tell you. Uh-oh, I don't like the sound of this. Do you know that small girl? I believe she is Mystic Maya's little sister. Maya has a little sister? Oh, you mean Little Pearl? That's my face cousin. Little Pearl? Thought she was going to visit Miss Elise after we'd finished with dinner cleanup, but I haven't seen her at all since last night. She's nowhere to be found. You mean she was the victim? Or she was with the victim. It's all my fault for my stupid creaky old back. The little girl who was with the victim on the night of the murder is gone? As they say, the plot thickens. It's the head nun. It's your duty to stay with the acolytes at all times, correct? Yes, that's correct. I know I may look strong, but the truth is I've got a bad lower back. Bad lower back? Yes, it's especially bad in the winter, so bad that I can't even lift a bucket. Do you remember how cold it was last night? My bad back felt as stiff as frozen glass. Just wanted to take a nice hot bath to ease my aching back. That's why I returned to the main hall. So you left the disciple all alone. Don't be ridiculous, I would never do that. That's why I ordered Iris to the inner temple after she had rung the bell for lights out. Yes, but she never went to the inner temple, did she? So did this head nun actually see Iris there? I think I'd better try to get some more details. You said you went with Maya to the training hall in the inner temple last night. Did you happen to see Iris while you were there? Of course I saw her. I told her to meet us after ringing the 10 bell for lights out. So you're saying Iris came to the inner temple then? Of course she did. Iris has always been a good, obedient girl. After that, I had Iris help Mystic Maya begin her training. It doesn't fit with Iris' story at all. She said that she never went to the inner temple. As I say, the plot thickens. More Enza cushions in the corner of the room. What's that white piece of paper sticking out from under that stack? Beats me. Would you mind checking for me, detective? Yes, sir. Here you are, Mr. Edgeworth. Looks like an old manila envelope. What is it, detective? This could be an ultra-important clue. Suppose I should read it myself, then. Looks like a letter addressed to Sister Iris. Tonight at 10 at Heavenly Hall, unless you want your secret to be exposed. Sounds like a blackmail letter. Nice going there, Mr. Edgeworth. Why can't I ever find clues like that? An ultra-important prosecutor, super-duper prosecutor. Well, I suppose it takes it super-duper kind of dumb to miss a clue like this. And this is where the murder took place, sir. Other than removing the body, we left everything else untouched. Thanks, detective. I just have to look around. So the police are still investigating. Oh yeah, by the way, I thought I'd better ask just to be sure. Are you really going to defend this nun Iris at the trial tomorrow? Yes, I will. Gave her my word, and I now must follow through with my commitment. Well, in that case, I gotta be careful. Gotta make sure I don't leak the prosecution's whole investigation. Don't worry about it, detective. Just keep your mouth closed, and I think most of it will flow out on its own. Got it, sir. I'll make sure it flows out like water from a tap. Yes, you do that, detective. Just how much has your running spout leaked over the years? The victim is the famous picture book author, Miss Elise. Her entire past up until she won that writing award last year is a total mystery. It's hard to believe in this day and age you can still find people like that. The estimated time of death of the victim was between 10 and 11 p.m. on February 7th. Cause of death was blood loss resulting from a stab to the back by the murder weapon. The murder weapon? The victim was found skewered with a giant sword, sir. That's terrible. Yeah, but there's one strange thing. The victim's entire body was covered with bruises. The bruises are consistent with falling from the height of a two-story building. A two-story building? That would be about the same height as that room in front of us, correct? Hey, you're right. Way to go, Mr. Edgeworth. That just happens to be the room that Elise was staying in. Maybe she was pushed out of the window after she was stabbed with a sword? Now then, Detective, let's see if we can summarize what we've learned so far. Okay, let's take a look at the map. According to the testimony of Sister Bikini, that had none, right after they finished dinner, she and Maya Fey headed to the inner temple. At 10 p.m., after ringing the bell for lights out, Iris went to the inner temple. When she got there, Bikini had her take over while she went back to Hazakura Temple. After taking a hot bath to soothe her back, Sister Bikini witnessed the murder in the courtyard. If you want more details, you should ask Bikini herself in the main hall. Inner temple, huh? I'd like more information about that place. What is this inner temple that Maya was supposed to be training at? According to Bikini, it's an old building they use for training the acolytes. On the other side of Dusky Bridge. The bridge that burned down, huh? Is there anything else on the other side of that bridge besides the inner temple? Nope, not a thing. Nothing? The other side is surrounded by cliffs on all sides. In a way, it's kind of like a little island out there. So the only thing there is the inner temple. I hear it's not the kind of place a person could survive in. Please be alright, Maya. Trial begins tomorrow, but who's the prosecutor? Pretty sure it's that Godot guy, but nobody can get a hold of him, so they're looking for a replacement. What do you mean? It's really weird. All of a sudden, no one can reach him. I wonder if the rumors are true. Maybe since Mr. Wright caught a cold and won't be defending, he just lost interest. I intend to appear in court in the role of defense attorney. However, I would be quite unhappy if it came out that I'm actually a prosecutor. Yeah, I can see why, but I'm not the one you have to worry about. I think the real problem is going to be that judge. Yes, he certainly would remember my face, even after such a long absence. That's why I requested that another judge preside over the trial tomorrow. We only met each other once. There's a good chance he won't remember me at all. Yeah, but what about the prosecutor? Everyone in the prosecutor's office must know you. Wouldn't it be a problem if someone there made a big stink, sir? No need to worry. I pulled a few strings to arrange for a prosecutor of my own choosing. Wow, Mr. Edgeworth, I had no idea you had such powerful string to pull. Main gate must be just over that stone wall. Stone walls have jumped over a few of those in my time. Most of them are good memories, but not all. Detective, perhaps someone should introduce you to the concept of toxicity of words. What's this? It looks like a wizard staff? That belonged to the victim, Miss Elise. There's nothing strange or magical about it. Oh, yeah, listen to this just between us, okay, sir? What? This is top secret stuff. Don't tell anyone about this. Truth is, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a wizard. That's it? That's what you wanted to tell me? That's it. This staff was made from a very strong kind of wood. What about fingerprints? Were there any on it? Just the victims. So, the sword from the skilled statue is actually the murder weapon? Sure is. It's called a Shishido, by the way. Nasty piece of work, sir. Still blood on it. I suppose this is the victim's blood? Yep, it's all over the blade. And speaking of all over the blade, there are fingerprints all over the hilt of the Shishido, too. Fingerprints. Naturally, they match the prints that we got from the younger nun, the defendant. Her fingerprints are on the murder weapon. What's wrong? You're looking really solemn. Is this how it is for Wright? Is this what it's like to be a defense attorney? Yeah, I figured it doesn't feel really good. be honest, it feels more like it's detrimental to your health. Love skiing, really? You don't seem like the type. Oh, what about sleds? Sleds, now they're a little too kiddie, you know, messes with my hard-boiled image. What's with the silence, Mr. Edgeworth? Is the world starting to go mad? It's a lantern, I suppose they light it at night. Something elegant about the light of a fire. At the end of each month, I always like to relax in my room by candlelight. Detective, can you not afford to pay your electricity bill? How did you know? I don't see Larry anywhere. Maybe we scared the poor kid away. His heart was shut tight with the number of psycho locks. I guess I'll have to look for him now. Look thorn in my side. Ah, Mr. Edgeworth. Came back because I need to ask you a few more questions if you don't mind. And I've already told you everything that Iris, please remember, I'm on your side. You can tell me anything. Yes, thank you. Since as I've been handed this case, it is my duty to dig up all the answers. Does it understand? Yes, sir. The smallest flame can sometimes bathe a case in a whole new light. In my years in court, I've seen it happen over and over again. That's why I'm committed to searching until I have those answers. Now then, is it really true that you didn't go to the inner temple last night? Yes, I swear, I don't do that. Yes, you said you didn't go because you were frightened. That's right. If that's the case, then the obvious question is, what were you so afraid of? Iris, I wonder, is this what frightened you so much that you couldn't even leave your own room? I found this in the main hall. It is addressed to you. Well, Iris, why are you glaring at me like that? You were scared of the blackmailer who wrote this to you, isn't that correct? The evidence of the power of my glare that broke that lock. Well, I don't suppose it matters either way. But, Mr. Edgeworth, I just thought that letter was someone playing a prank on me. A prank? Well, yes, after all, even if I did have a secret, there's no one to tell it to that would cause me any grief. I wonder about that. Sister Bikini's like a mother to me. I would never hide anything from her. No, you may not have anything to hide under normal circumstances. However, last night was different. Unfortunately, I don't know the exact nature of your secret yet. However, whatever it is, there's one person you didn't want your secret told to. Phoenix Wright. He means something to Wright, it seems, and I can tell he holds a special place in your heart as well. That is why you didn't want him, of all people, to know your deep, dark secret. Well, what do you have to say? I should have expected as much, especially from a friend of his. After dinner, this letter was waiting for me in my room. As I said, I was frightened by it. What is this heavenly hall the letter mentions? It's a small mountain shack at the base of Dusky Bridge. A small shack, huh? It's more like a broken down shack that no one would ever want to go near. Where is it on this map? It's around here. To get there, you must follow a small path down from Dusky Bridge. The reality is, to get to the inner temple, I had no choice but to cross that bridge. But I thought that such a terrible criminal could be lurking at Heavenly Hall. I was so scared by the whole affair that I didn't even want to think about it. So this is the secret that you locked away in your heart. Yes, it looks as though I may have to visit this heavenly hall now. Maybe I'll find some sign of our mysterious blackmailer. In any case, you still claim to have never left your room last night. Yes, that's exactly right. Trial starts tomorrow. I promise you I will win. I'm going to win so that you and Phoenix Wright can see each other again. But when I do, you must promise that you will tell him your secret. But it's pointless. Why would you say that? Because I may know who Phoenix Wright is, but he has no idea who I am. Just finished speaking with the head nun of Hazakura Temple. She testified very clearly as to what happened. She said she saw you stab Miss Elise with a sword. And one other thing, she said that when Maya Fey began her training at the Inner Temple, you were there as well. What? When I spoke with you last, you claimed that you never went to the Inner Temple, and yet Sister Bikini says she met you at the Inner Temple that very night. But I didn't go there. I didn't go to the Inner Temple last night. Whoa, not much of a view down here, huh? Still better than the view from my apartment, though. Someone's here. Hide yourself, detective. Oh, why does this always happen? Whenever I find a girl I like, they always run away. Even chased one of them to Japan. Next it's going to be prison, I guess. I'll steal that detective's wallet. That'll get me locked up for sure. Nah, I can't do that to someone who looks like he's down on his luck. He's just talking to himself. Shh, quiet and listen. I knew it. I shouldn't have done that. I blew it again. Done that, what do you do, I wonder? Hey, you, about what you just said. I've got an objection. What the... You dirty rat. Gumshoe, you oaf. Sorry, sir. Before I knew it, I was shouting out objection. In a loud commanding voice, too. I even pointed with my pointer finger. You've watched too many trials. Sorry. Okay, Larry, the jig is up. What have you got to say for yourself? Where is this little shack anyway? Well, I just discovered it myself yesterday. And why were you down here in the first place? Come on, I'm an artist. I was looking for a good place to sketch. It's a great little place. It's, artistic. It's quiet, it's cold, it's got no power, and it looks like it's about to collapse. Sounds a lot like my apartment there, pal. One thing's for sure, no one's likely to show up and disturb you here. So, can I get you something to drink? Some hot water, maybe? Getting all buddy-buddy on us, sir. Listen to me, Edgy. You've got to do this. You've got to save Iris. Why are you so sure she's innocent? Because she's cute? Watch your mouth. Anyway, I've made up my mind about it. I'm going to marry that girl. Mr. Edgeworth is pretending he didn't hear you, so I'm going to ask for him. Have you already asked this girl to marry you? No, not yet, but I can tell how she feels with the look in her eyes. She's got this, I really want this man to carry me over the threshold look. I'm sure Nick will be surprised. He's never imagined that I could marry such a beautiful girl like that. Something tells me he would be shocked indeed. That's why I didn't want her to do anything dangerous. I mean, what am I going to do if she gets hurt? What is this guy trying to say? He lost me about a mile back. If we really want to know the answer to that, we're going to have to drag him onto the witness stand. Where were you and what were you doing last night? Oh, man, don't you have anything else to talk about? That kind of attitude, you'll never be a ladies' man like me. Oh, okay, chill out with the scary eyes, I got it. If you really want to know, last night I saw something incredible. Something incredible? Yeah, but let's not talk about that now. Let's talk about the good old days. What do you say? Come on, I'll pour you a nice cup of hot water. Why hasn't he realized that I absolutely despise talking about the good old days, especially with him? Alright, now you're gonna tell me what you really saw last night. Whoa, you're really upset, aren't you, Hitchy? Okay, I'll talk. Huh? Wasn't it too easy? Yeah, anyway, it was awesome. I've never seen anything like it. After around 10 o'clock last night, it started thundering. I've been sleeping, I'm not sure for how long. Suddenly, zing, a world in front of me went white. Just like I'd been slapped in the face by my old girlfriend, Naomi. And then, it was on fire. The bridge was on fire. Dusky Bridge caught on fire? Are you saying you saw it with your own eyes? Hey, why are you giving me the evil eye? I'm telling the truth. It's still pretty psycho after me. It means he's still trying to hide something. By the way, Larry, where were you when you saw this happen? What do you mean? What do you mean, what do I mean? Just answer the question. Well, I was in my own room by the main hall. Where else would I be? As usual, you're as transparent as an empty jelly jar. Problem, I suspect, lies there. There? What do you mean there? It's impossible for you to have seen the lightning strike from Dusky Bridge from your room. This is a map of the area. Take a look around the vicinity around Hazakura Temple. What am I looking for? I think that should be fairly obvious. The main hall is surrounded by trees and it's impossible to see the bridge from here. What? Why didn't you tell me that before? Well, how about it? Well, what? Do you feel like talking now? About what? Looks like it won't be that easy after all. Leave me no choice, I'll have to move on to the next step. You weren't in your room at the temple, so then where were you? You don't know that, I wasn't in my room. So where was Larry and why was he there? If I've read the situation to this point correctly, the answer's fairly obvious. Very well then, let me test my theory. The place you witnessed the lightning striking Dusky Bridge was here. Naturally, Heavenly Hall. Why would I be hanging out in this old shack? It's freezing cold, there's no electricity, and I could fall apart at any minute. Larry, how do you know that anyway? How do you know there's no electricity? After all, it's not that dark yet. In other words, you have just provided evidence to prove my theory. My theory that you've at least once in your life visited Heavenly Hall after sunset. I have to admit I'm impressed, Edgy. You're a totally different league from Nick. That's nice. Now tell me, what were you doing at this cold little shack last night? That's what you might call a faire de quoi. I think you meant a faire de quoi? Oh, I said it the right way when you wrote it out wrong. Could it be you were waiting for someone? Oh no, you really are one scary guy. I believe that last night you were waiting for this person to come meet you. There's only one person you'd wait for in a horrible place like this, Larry. I told you before, don't call me Larry. The person you were waiting for was Iris. Oh, suddenly I feel cold all over, Edgy. No doubt because of my chilly glare. So you think I got the hots for Sister Iris? Huh? Do you have some kind of evidence? You got something that proves I was waiting for? Or are you just guessing? This is where I draw the line in this little ridiculous little game. Here's the evidence that proves you're waiting for Iris. Here's your evidence. You called her to the spot with a pathetic blackmail letter. Oh, hey, give that back. You're embarrassing me. What are you doing with that anyway? That's not important. I misjudged you, Larry. What do you mean? Taking advantage of a woman's frailty like that, you should be ashamed of yourself. Oh, first of all, what's this top of the letter here? It says salutation here. Well, that's what it said for the book Letter Writing for Dummies. You're not supposed to actually write that. That's where you're supposed to write Dear Iris. I'm so sorry. So you were here in Heavenly Hall last night, weren't you, Larry? And you saw the lightning hit Dusky Bridge, didn't you? Sorry, Edgy. Sorry doesn't cut it, you scumbag. Threatening a young lady like that? Wait, hold up. What now, pal? What are you talking about? What threatening stuff? I'll tell you what, you tried to scare Iris by threatening to expose her secret, pal. What do you mean threaten? When did I threaten her? Unless you want your secret to be exposed. That sure sounds like a threat to me, pal. Blackmail, in fact. Give me a break. It's a love letter. Haven't you ever been in love? What did you just say? Well, my love for her burned so hotly it could melt all the snow on this mountain. Oh, then what is the secret you mentioned? Come on, Edgy. Did you get it? I'm talking about the secret love between her and me. Obviously, she wouldn't want Old Lady Bikini to know about it, right? About our hot and sour, bittersweet love affair? Alright. Why did you send a love letter in a business-like manila envelope? Give me a break. It's not my fault I didn't have any other envelopes. Yeesh. Why are you so quick to apologize, pal? It's because Edgy gave me that scary look of his. What's wrong, Edgy? Why are you so quiet all of a sudden? That's it? That's what all those huge locks were about? I don't understand why you're so defensive. Well, I don't know either. I guess the thing is you shouldn't expect too much from a guy like me. Hey, come on, don't let it get you down. Mr. Edgeworth, this guy's still hiding something. I still know it. What do you mean, detective? I forget what this guy said just a minute ago. I really want to know. Last night I saw something incredible. He's right. Larry, you're looking at me like a hungry dog that just found a bone. What was this something incredible you saw last night? You're gonna tell me, Larry, one way or another. I already told you, didn't I? I saw lightning strike Dusky Bridge. Yes, and I believe it was the incredible sight you saw, but now that I think about it, something doesn't quite ring true. What doesn't? If that's all there is to your story, your heart wouldn't have had all those locks. Therefore, Larry, I do believe you saw something last night, something more incredible than lightning. What? What? When? Where? Why? How? Hey, what do you think you're doing? Jesus. No! What's wrong, sir? Does this mean I have to do it all over again? Why are you glaring at me like I'm about to be hit by a bolt of lightning? Just about had it with this harlequin. I really want to drag the truth out of him. I'll just have to drag him to the witness stand. Alright, we're about almost at the 3-hour mark, so I'm going to take 15 to 20 minutes just to get up, to stretch my legs, and I think I need to refill my water. Yep, I do. And probably grab a snack, so I will be back momentarily.